And I guess that means that it's time for the one, time for the two.
Dos Rinos.
Because we ran out of time, and it is time to start the Truther Cast. Welcome back to the Truther Cast, home of the Truther Cast. We are here to take your truth order. Hopefully the microphones are a-chooching, as Mr. Dan would say. Video cameras are functioning, and you're ready to hang out and tell us all the inside jokes that you didn't get in the live chat so we can explain them to you.
And absorb a little bit of awareness.
Hells yeah. But if
absorb,
you are a newer kind of person here to the Truther Cast showing up, why, thank you very, very much. We appreciate you because we're attempting to not just be, two more dudes out there on the old internet complaining. We've got a bit of a shtick around here, and that shtick is to build a better news feed. Whether you're already into this stuff or maybe you're just kind of dipping your toes in the jacuzzi, baby, to do more informational learning thingies that might bring you awareness, to find some realization, or maybe help somebody else do that, you got to start somewhere, folks. And that, we believe here at TrutherCast, is to build a better news feed. So hang on out here because we're going to go through last week's kind of, politics, cultural pop thingies, informational tidbits of stuff. We've got a James O'Keefe for you, so don't forget the independent journalism.
James O'Keefe ain't got a black eye though.
Saw a good Benny Johnson, and as the James O'Keefe was on. I don't know if I shared it, but it was basically like a Superman prank, like. So hang on out because we're gonna be going through these, like independent journalists, the citizen journalists, like Tim Pool in the White House briefing room.
Oh, dude, I seen
or
that.
DC Drano.
Didn't
like what?
I didn't see the DC Drano part, but I seen Tim Pool up there, and he not like great at first question in the White House, killed it.
Yep, we're going to be getting into that one too, folks. So when you hang out here, we'll bring all these things to your attention, and if you're into it, you can go out and follow these people because we love to highlight the people putting out the good news, the anti lamestream, the anti mainstream media, the decentralized media, right? Which is the new media. But you can follow these people yourself. You can head on over to truthercast.com, go over to the recommendations tab in the navigation thing, and or was it resources and then recommendations? But you can find the links right there if you don't want to just search them after seeing somebody we have highlighted here on the show. So that's a good way to build a better news feed for yourself or maybe a friend or a family member. Like I love taking my mom's phone and being like, beep, bop, boop, bop, beep, and just have following DC Drano and Tim Pool on her account.
Even better, them foes that are in them Instagram chat battles or comment battles, more like.
Comment battles, yeah. If you can grab a foe's phone, definitely follow Tim Pool for him.
Yeah, like, what about your old friend Mike, man? Whatever happened to him? Oh, yeah, it's because you don't post on Facebook anymore. He, I'm sure, would totally love to watch these people and get some real enlightenment.
I completely agree. He seems like one of those stubborn people, though, that ain't going to listen to a damn thing.
What? I mean, you can... What would be a good metaphor?
You always got to try.
Yeah. What there? You can lead the horse to water, but you can't make it drink. I mean, it's got to take a drink if there's so much water it becomes underwater. Like it has no choice except to take a drink eventually, right?
Well, Granddaddy always said you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, but you sure can drown it.
Drown it in info to where it finally has to drink. That's what I'm saying.
Waterboard that ish, man.
Just flood them with that info.
Dang. Yeah, man. If you are coming back to the Truther Cast as usual, we very much appreciate your continued patronage. Thank you so very, very much for hanging out here and chatting in the live chat, letting us know what you thought to be important or what needed highlighting from last week. And we also very much appreciate you guys making sure to support the show for free here,
And reduce the hoage by sharing the showage.
So if you're coming back to the show, I hope that you were not a hoe last week, and I hope that you made sure to share that show out.
Just made a click. One little, okay, maybe it's 2 clicks. You got to click share and then where to share it. Bing, bang, boom, you're done.
Then send. Shit, it's 3 clicks. That's okay. It's a 3-step plan, bro. You got it.
Yeah, you got to pick the app and then
click share
post.
Button, which app, and then hit, go.
3 clicks, just like, to safely carry a firearm. It's got to be 3 steps away from firing if you don't have your conceal and carry.
Right? That reminds me of a good Gabriel Iglesias joke. He's like, you ever been like really fat and you go with your fat friend over to the roller coasters, right? Like, what is it about having like a fat guy competition, right? You get in the seat, my friend sits down and he goes, click, 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 2 clicks. So I jump in there and I go like, I got this guy, So I jump in there and I go click, 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 click. 3 clicks.
3 clicks. I can't yell when I'm having fun now, but I won.
Gabriel Iglesias was one of the good ones. He was funny. I liked his shit.
Oh yeah, Fluffy was pretty good.
That was really good.
Hey, I haven't seen really much of him lately. I don't know if
he's still
been
putting him out there. He just ain't like blowing up popular where they're talking about it no more. He's had his blow up time.
I don't ever watch anything anyway, so that
right. Well, why would you see it?
Yeah, yep, pretty much.
But he had a special on Netflix and stuff. If you got $1 and a computer, you could definitely check out a thing that would help you out called Tolerate Tech. If you check out that description box down below, there's a link, signup.toleratetech.com. That's going to help you out as well as me. And that helps, keep the lights on here at the Truther Cast show because, each show is sponsored by me and my company, Revival Tech. So, if you like the idea of maybe getting like a like-minded tech guy that could help you out, protect the computer, keep it working good and healthy, and, maybe like solve some of your tech problems, whether it's with the computer we're, monitoring or any kind of other tech problem, phones, tabs, game systems, maybe your smart shit's not working or something like that. I'd love to help you out. If you're in the area, I'd love to see you in human face because, talking to real life's awesome, but I can also help you out remotely. But check out the details down below in that box down there, signup.toleratetech.com. We don't get sponsored by things we don't believe in, but we do 100% give sponsored by bias companies that are ours. So there is that, folks. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind.
Yep, our companies or the companies that we agree with. We're not going to have anybody that's going to try telling us to say things we don't believe in or we don't agree with.
Yeah, like one that I haven't really mentioned yet because I haven't bought it, so I don't feel like super like shouting it out. But I looked it up, and it seems like the most legitimate and cost effective, even though it's still like $100. It's like $100 for your first year, 50% off with the code, and then it's $200 going forward or some shit.
What ground?
But it's incognito, and so it's all about trying to like remove all your datas from the interwebs to try and lessen down like spammers, scammers, marketing calls, and shit like that.
That'd be nice. I get at least about 5 to 10 spam calls a day. It'd be great if those could just not happen.
Yeah, but I need to pony up and just spend some monies. But $90 I thought for the year, and then maybe like cancel that auto new, and then like go another year or two before you buy it again at least.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that one yet.
Yeah.
What's this name?
Incogni.revivaltech.solutions.com. Yes. You too.
At first I thought you were gonna say incognito.
And no, it stops at ni.
Incogni.
Yeah, they were like, we got to come up with a play on in the word incogni.
They just like Mighty Python and the Holy Grail. We are the knights who say ni. Tis but a flesh wound.
That's a classic.
Oh, super classic. Oh man.
Wait, there's titties?
Yeah. Tyler says, yay, titties.
Titties.
It must be you, because I'm a flat chest over here.
Oh, my titties. I got man boobs now because I do some push-ups. I got up to like 26 push-ups, bro. That's impressive.
Hey,
in like one of the reps, I did 2 or 3.
Yeah, that's good.
26,
that's
man.
Good progress.
It might be the most I've ever done in my entire life in one rep.
I don't know if Andy would say he's proud of you, but I mean, he's proud of you in a way.
I mean, like, first time you do anything, somewhat proud, but if it's like the first time you weren't an idiot, it's a little bit different kind of proud,
if you
know?
If you run it past Goggins, he'd be like, in 3 seconds you did 25? Yeah? Oh, that was your whole set? What? Get down and give me another 25.
Not the whole set. That was one rep of the set.
Wait, what?
So like a set would be all of them in a session of working out, right? And then the reps are the pieces within the set, right?
Pretty sure it's like if you do 25 push-ups, that's 25 reps, and then you do however many sets.
Right.
I think that's how it.
Right. That's what I just said.
One set of
is the
25.
overarching thing. Wait, what? Oh, wait. No, a rep is each one push-up?
That's how you know how, like, if you're gonna push whatever weight 5 times, it's 5 reps.
Wait, so what's the word for all the sets?
A complete set. Or like the workout. I don't know. The workout. Like,
but I did like leg stuff too, crunches, right? Like
I don't know if there's a specific word for like all of them combined, but I'm pretty
Tyler's
sure
a workout, bro. What's the word for it, man? He's gonna be like, workout, you idiot.
But yeah, there's so many reps to a set.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready for the Navy SEAL training, Wilkins saying. You'd be crazy. That customer I was telling you about, he got a son that's going for Navy SEAL, and he's telling me these stories, of like the training. He's down to like the final 5 of his class. So then he went to the like main thing with all the other dudes in the class.
That'd probably Hell Week.
Which is in Alaska, and they got to do like high altitude work.
I don't think Hell Week's in Alaska, and so that's probably something past.
I'm pretty sure this is past it, yeah. So it's they're doing the like whatever the special scuba thing is where there's no bubbles. So they're doing that.
Oh, yeah, the oxygen recirculating.
Right? But then dudes die because it accidentally recirculates the CO2 sometimes and like
yeah, you got to only breathe so much if you don't. I'm pretty sure it's just like an oxygen tank. It's only got so long. And so if you breathe too much, you can't just use like an oxygen tank. You got to I guess like divers don't just use their oxygen willy-nilly while they're down there too. They try to conserve it as much as possible. I ain't one for that. See, I wanted to do Navy SEALs, and then I found out all the water stuff you need to do, and it was like, nah, I'm no fish, dude. Like,
Yeah, not for me, yeah.
I'm meant to be I'm a
Gotta go
mammal. I'm a
Marine.
mammal. I'm for above water.
Yeah, go Marine that shit. So it did get interesting. So he is telling me the story, and then somehow I said something about like, oh man, did you see Cash Patel just got that ex-judge arrested for aiding and abetting a criminal alien,
What do say or whatever,
and possibly giving him like a weapon and like some dirty shit.
Yeah.
And
they ended up having a firearm too.
And he gets all emotional, bro. And I'm like, oh no, like what happened? Like I thought this guy was like on our team. Like, did I upset him? I'm like confused right now. And he goes, that Cash Patel man is a really great man. And I was like, oh shit, okay.
Oh, happy emo. Like,
and he goes, yeah, right. And then he goes, so this kid died of sepsis in my son's class. And then they like stripped the chief or the general or the sergeant guy, the head of the like department, of all of his accolades, and they fired him. And I'm like, what? And then somebody wanted to fix this, so they brought this to the attention of Cash Patel. And so he said, we're going to look into this, investigated it. And they found out that they were trying to cover up that the dude did roids, and that's why he got sepsis and died, because the sergeant was like, yo, are you giving up? Ring the bell. And the dude was like, no, I'm not going to ring the bell. I'm going to keep going. And then he died. So they found this all out, that they were trying to cover it up and like brush it under the rug. And so they reinstated the dude and gave him all his accolades back. And I'm like, God bless, man. That's a story right
Heck
there.
Yeah.
Like, salute to everybody involved. Like, golly, like that's wild.
I mean, first, glad, like, not glad he didn't make it all the way through to screw up the rest of his team later. Because, like, if you have to have roids to get through, that's not how you're supposed to do it. Unfortunately, not good at all that he passed, but too bad they weren't able to find that out before he ended up passing. Like, if they would have found out he was doing steroids before, like, they would have just they would have cut him out of the program. They wouldn't have let him even.
Well, I think
continue.
that's what it sounded like. It was dirty. It was like somebody knew that, and then they didn't. So then they were gonna like cover up the whole thing. Or I don't know. It's like,
right? Yeah.
Why were they even trying to cover it up? Just for like press? Hey, that's bad anyway, bro. You just gotta like be like, some bros do roids, and then they die. We don't condone the roids.
It happens. It happens in gyms too. Not only Navy SEAL. Stab you in the neck with a pencil. Which one of you jackknobs has been juicing?
If you guys are not familiar, we're gonna head on over here to the locals community. It's more fun when it's broken, so let us fix this real quick.
Where's the screen? Where is it? It's one of these options.
It's one of these.
Bam,
all right.
there it is.
Hey, so over here in the locals community, you can come in and hang out for free. You make an account. I think if you haven't joined yet, you can hit the join button right there on the appy when you're watching this video. And it'll pop up the locals. You can make a free account. I recommend just logging in with your Rumble if you have a Rumble account. If you haven't done that yet, make a Rumble account. And that way, you can hit thumbs up for us, But over here in the locals community, it's a little bit more of a somewhat private community that is, not censored by the big tech kind of censorship organizations. So we can all hang out here, pass information along. And my favorite thing to do with this is to use it like an uncensored Google. So when you come over here to the locals, if you're ever talking with a family, a friend, or a fro, you can just come on over here and search in the Mass Dash of Insights locals community and pull up that receipt that you're trying to talk about. Just like this one right here, man. They're trying to do this Signal Gate thing again. They're trying to get Mr. Hegseth fired, trying to make him look like a fool for leaking classified documentations.
Oh yeah, the empty echoing argument.
And it's like another nothing burger, right? Because like one, the chat that was leaked is him talking to his wife and his brother. So they're trying to say, oh, he's talking to his wife and his brother about classified information. And we're like, okay, what information was classified? Well, he said there was going to be like bombings. Like, what about it? Well, he said that they were going to happen. Well, then he gave out classified locations. What location did he give out? He said that there were going to be apartments bombed.
Really?
Okay, so like your apartment, my apartment, like which apartment, bro? Like, so they're all trying to blow this up, right? Well, to not bury the lead here too much, man, the thing that I think everybody needs to know about this when you're talking to somebody that's, a news headline regurgitator that doesn't, read past the effing headlines, like some kind of a TDS patient of some sort, right?
Yep.
And they just tell you like, oh, well, that Pete Hegseth, he's a bad man. He's leaking the signal chats and the blah, blah, blah. You know what you need to ask them? Ask them if they knew that the CEO of NPR is on the board of Signal.
Yeah.
And then ask them if they knew that the NPR is the one that leaked that posted this story first of the leaked chat.
Yeah.
That seems a little fishy to me. How about you, bro?
Yeah. It's almost like how the CIA, are the ones who said Signal needs to be their app that they use, and they were also the creators of Signal.
Which would make sense, I guess, right?
Almost,
you make something, you probably use it.
Yeah. We know what the CIA is always up to. Always up to some tomfoolery.
That's the other one that, like,
Not
hey,
say anything too bad.
Maybe I'm biased because I like these our-sided people like a Pete Hegseth and whoever the hell he's involved with because he's not allegedly an idiot. Like, those people don't know that the CIA is all up in their business and the allegedly private chat. Like,
yeah. Well, why I brought it up is because, if the CIA, as we now know, as has been declassified, was involved in the assassination of one of our own presidents. So, not like, you got to ask, who do they or who they're connected with don't like or don't want somewhere. So if something is made to look somebody poo-poo, I just wonder if something was done on purpose. And it's more than likely they probably had something to do with it since they were the ones who wrote the program.
you'd wonder.
Yeah, it's not like they would know how to backdoor in and do something sneaky if they had to, because it's not like the CIA doesn't ever do anything sneaky. They're totally not about ever doing anything sneaky.
And then this one's even more suspicious because, like, did they backdoor in and give it to NPR? Or is the NPR lady connected with Signal? So she was just like, yo, let me get this guy's chats. Or somebody in the... There's a lot of weird collusion going on here, I feel like, folks. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, the easiest way would be use a different app.
Do you think, allegedly they're, like, supposed to use the Signal. So, figure that out.
Make a new one. Hop onto that one.
Okay.
They can make a whole brand new one.
Do you think the intro of this Benny Johnson video is going to be funny?
It is going to slap.
Got a 90% chance, right? 90%.
I'd
it's
say
like very rare.
98%.
There's an off. Like,
he's in the
98.
He's in the 98.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
We will give the people of Earth an ideal to strive towards. In time, you will help them accomplish wonders.
What's up, guys?
That was pretty good. That was very good.
Hey, like,
That was a slapper, but
for somebody who doesn't know or has seen that Superman movie, they would like that looked darn how it was supposed to. It almost didn't look like anything had been modified.
Pete, and then I watched the rest of the video and was like, oh wait.
Yeah. It was like, wait, I thought I was first seeing whatever the guy's name is that actually plays Superman in that.
But he was the good ones because then he quit doing all the other things that got woke because he was also doing The Watcher.
Yeah.
Man.
And all, hey, he's a good guy because like the women just can't seem to like tone down when they're around. If you see, there's so many different clips of like women are just literally around him. Apparently, he's just that handsome and gorgeous.
Right.
Yeah, they're all just twisted up in arms.
Yeah.
Like just he just has
He
to open
do
his,
look like he got
he's
good
not
genes.
he's not even talking to them. He just says something to somebody else, and they're just over there melting. Like, oh my goodness.
And he's like a proud Christian guy. He was like talking about that a few months ago with the guy that played Shazam as well, I believe, or maybe it was just him. I'm thinking
Good for him.
of. So would you say yay to getting some renewed 911 the day of the buildings going down investigation? Because I'd say a hell yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
Man, can we get like an investigation into Building 7, please? I want to get answers.
Yeah, that building that never hit the news.
We got Alex Jones here. Global bombshell. The Republican-led U.S. Senate to officially investigate the controlled demolition of Building 7 on 9/11. The premeditated destruction of Building 7 constitutes the ultimate smoking gun, definitely proving 100% that 9/11 was a deep state inside job. Chairman of the Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations, Senator Ron Johnson, is spearheading the public effort to reveal the horrific truth that is guaranteed to drive a stake through the heart of the globalist crime syndicate.
Says 9/11 hearings are being planned, and they are going to look directly at the controlled demolition of Building 7, which is absolutely smoking gun. The deputy head of emergency management on record saying they blew it up. The owner saying they decided to pull the building and watch it come down, which is demolition term, destroy it. They show them do it. Local newscasts, NPR, BBC 2 channels, CNN 2 channels, headline news and regular CNN at the time. World Trade Center 7 didn't just blow itself up.
Well, start with Building 7. Again, I don't know that you can find structural engineers other than the ones that have the corrupt investigation inside NIST that would say that that thing didn't come down in
Even Alex Jones uses the Benny Johnson.
any other way than a controlled demolition. I mean, you just look at that. You talk about molten steel. Again, you listen to the documentary Bravo 7. There's an awful lot of questions. You know, who ordered the removal and then destruction of all that evidence? Totally contrary to any other firefighting investigation procedures. I mean, who ordered that? Who was in charge? I think there's some basic information. Where's all the documentation from the NIST investigation? You know, there are a host of questions that I want, and I will be asking, quite honestly, now that my eyes have been opened up. I've talked to former Congressman Kurt Weldon now. I will work with him to expose what he's willing to expose as well.
Wow. So
Bro, right? So like Dick Cheney was on the board or the CEO of Halliburton. He leaves the company to become vice president, and then 9/11 happens, and then Halliburton gets a no-bid contract to clean up all the rebels, and then somebody says, "You'll go and clean that up." It was like literally the next day or 2, 3. Like it was like immediately, quickly, right? Like
yeah, it was super fast. And they basically had the whole surrounding area. They put up high fencing, so people had a hard time just seeing all the cleanup happen, which would be
for your own safety, Dan.
Yeah.
For your own safety.
Not so you couldn't, even though
in the middle of a city.
Even though luckily some people still snag some pictures of like the beams where you're like, oh wow, look at that jagged knife edge through the steel beam. I thought they melted, and like just smushed together and it all fell down, except why does it look like a giant
diagonally cut
giant Gundam with a samurai sword just sliced through it,
which is indicative of demolitions.
Yeah, well, thermite being used
as well. Yeah, right.
More than likely that was the thermite. The explosions that you can see in the replay video of floors down below before it even collapsing, blowing the windows out. That would have been probably because thermite doesn't explode.
Nope.
It just burns.
It pops a little bit.
I mean, it's like it explodes.
Yeah.
It's
not like some C4.
Yeah, not. Which is where.
So they had to have other explosions in there, bro, because there was blow up.
Yeah, and
some speculate larger than an airplane and jet fuel.
Yeah, like it is. There's a lot of people that are like, yeah, I heard the explosion, this and that. It's like,
right,
okay, yeah, they said explosions. I don't want to they didn't hear explosions, but at the same time, it's like that person, if you played a clip of C4 like dynamite blowing up, they probably wouldn't be able to know the difference.
Average Joe, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, but if you know what you're listening for and watching, you could definitely tell the difference between the two.
Or how about last week when we were covering Walden again, talking about that the firefighters going up there and saying, hey, they could like totally put out the fires and whatnot, and then
Oh yeah.
all of a sudden like couldn't put out all the fires. So like, why did they say that?
Yeah. It's interesting. 9/11's definitely been in the news feeds a little bit lately. I seen one that had just been going around where the guy was digging into the files on how there was so many floors that had all this fire retardant material that had to be removed, and all this asbestos and all different levels and walls that needed to be removed. Basically, the building had hazardous material in it. As we know, the asbestos is if you've had mesothelioma, please call. You may be entitled to compensation. Apparently, there was a shit ton of the asbestos in the building, and it would have cost possibly near $1 billion, if not billions, to get that out of the building and replace it with other stuff. So when it's going to cost that much in work,
You take an insurance claim out on it 2 months prior, and then you blow that ish up, right? That's it, right? Right? That's what you do?
I don't know. I don't know. Is that what you do? Who's the guy that
Larry?
Yeah. Is that what you do, Larry? Like
This is Larry, right?
Larry Fink.
Is it Larry Fink?
I'm because he's the BlackRock guy.
That's the dude who owned that building? I don't know if I ever put them two and two together, because I kept thinking it was Larry Fink, and then I was like, wait, no, that's the BlackRock guy.
Larry Fink has been on one for a while.
Yeah, I had one going kooky too. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Boop.
My bodacious, amazing eyelash
Bodacious.
becoming harmful.
9/11 emergency services allowed by what? No. Okay, yeah, duh. Who owned the Twin Towers? I said, who owned 9/11? Burp, burp.
Silverstein. Maybe
Yes, Larry Silverstein. Yeah.
different Larry.
Right. He's the one that used to eat lunch there every single day, but then, like, his wife convinced him not to eat lunch on the day before, and then he happened to not be eating lunch there.
Ask Rock if Larry Fink has had any connection to the World Trade Center. Watch live to see Scott misspell words.
Hell yeah. It's AI. I'll figure it out what I got spell for. Lawrence, or Larry Fink, is the co-founder, chairman, and CEO of BlackRock, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, he's a BlackRock.
Fink is known for his influence on the There is no direct evidence linking Larry Fink to BlackRock to ownership, development, or operational involvement with the World Trade Center complex, including the Twin Towers. Before the September 11, 2001 attack, Twin Towers were owned by Port Authority, New York, New Jersey, and leased to Silverstein Properties. Ooh, they were leased to Larry? Interesting. BlackRock's headquarters are in New York. There's a lot of people that are headquartered in New York. Speculative claims. Some online narratives, often in conspiracy-orientated discussions, attempt to link Fink to 9/11 due to BlackRock's financial influence and Fink's ties to the government and Wall Street. These claims typically lack credible evidence and rely on his general prominence rather than specific WTC involvement. No verified sources confirm such connections. Questionable.
But he was, BlackRock was financially involved.
Yeah.
Smidgen.
Hey, Schmidgen. Everyone at the top's connected somehow, right?
Oh shit! When you're BlackRock, you own most of the housing and commercial property in the United States.
Right.
They have investment in most all of the top companies of the S&P 500. they have a stake in most all of them.
Yep.
And what happens when you have a stake is then you get on the board and you can make decisions on what they do.
Well, we watched that one from Ian Carroll, right, where he broke it down and like all of the companies own each other. I was like, that's absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
Like BlackRock owns a part of Vanguard. Vanguard owns a part of whatchamacallit. Whatchamacallit owns a part of BlackRock. Blah blah blah. Like they all like own each
Why
other.
it is hard to follow the money because it just circles around and sneakily sneaks around like a snake.
Kind of like that Act Blue that Trump's actually starting to look into a little bit. It seems
Yeah.
we got a part on that later. Remember that time we told you guys about the Trump administration being super serious about getting independent journalists into the White House? Because here's our boy Tim Pool.
Yeah, so they can actually have a constructive press board meeting instead of all just garbage questions going, why are you a fascist, sir?
Yep. And if anything, bro, Steelman the argument. Oh, they just wanted him there because he supports Trump and he's like positive on Trump.
Which is what all the main
Sure, bro. So now there's two people in the room, Peter Ducey and Tim Pool. Like,
yeah,
compared to the rest of them all, like,
all the other left-wing outlets have been bitching about like, oh, they just like, how come these guys aren't asking like the real questions? What do you mean?
You mean the real dumb questions?
Yeah. Yeah, the questions that are, okay, sir, how come your border wall is such a failure? Like, what kind of question is that? First, it's not. That was the prior administration. They're so pissed because they just can't own the narrative and steer the narrative in the press room anymore. They can't stand to hear
100%, dog.
that he actually is being praised. A little bit.
So I thought this was wildly interesting. So I would love for everybody else to listen to this. Check this out.
We have a individual in our new media seat today. His name is Tim Pool. He's a political commentator and a media entrepreneur with millions of followers, a very big platform. Currently hosts Timcast IRL, a daily news and discussions show, and The Culture War, a weekly podcast exploring cultural and political issues. His programs feature in-depth conversations on topics such as free speech, censorship, identity politics, and societal change, often engaging with a diverse range of guests. He's in Washington today because we are also hosting a local media row across the street in the Eisenhower building, which is a testament to our commitment to bring new voices into the White House to cover the president and this administration. So, Tim, why don't you kick us off today?
Yes. Many of the news organizations that are represented in this room have marched in lockstep on false narratives, such as the Very Fine People hoax, the Covington smear, and now what's being called the Maryland Man hoax, where an MS-13 gang member adjudicated by two different judges, I believe, is just simply being referred to as a Maryland Man over and over again. Now, in an effort from the White House to expand access to new companies, you've created this new media seat. So I'm wondering if you can comment on following this expansion, you've had numerous outlets disparage the companies that you've had sit here, as well as the reporters. I'm wondering if you could comment on the unprofessional behavior, as well as elaborate if there's any plans to expand access to new companies.
Sure. Well, we certainly welcome diverse viewpoints in this room, which is one of the reasons we have you in here, and there's many new faces in this room in comparison to the previous administrations. We want to welcome all viewpoints into this room. We welcome unbiased journalists who really care about the truth and the facts and the accuracy, and you rightfully pointed out the Maryland Man story, which I, from this podium, when The Atlantic published it, on that very first day, I came to this podium and said, this is wrong. The press in this room have this story wrong, and we have seen more and more evidence come to the table that we have had all along. We were always right. The president was always on the right side of this issue to deport this illegal criminal from our community. And it is despicable to see the media continue to refer to this individual as someone who is just a peaceful man living his life in Maryland. This was and always has been an illegal criminal, an MS-13 gang member, and a designated foreign terrorist. And the administration maintains our position to deport these individuals from our community. So thank you for being here, Tim. It's great to see you. Thank you. Dasha, why don't you kick?
Heck yeah, man.
It's almost like they're doing diversion, equality, and inclusion of different news sources, but for some reason the side that was all about DEI when it's happening, but since the DEI is not for them and just their narrative, they're pissed because they're always hypocrites.
What a biased way to be.
Yeah, the ones that It's so crazy just how much they talk about one thing and they're absolutely on the other side of things.
The hypocrisy, right?
The hypocrisy is astounding.
And kind of painful, too.
Definitely painful.
Since we're on the independent journalist, citizen journalist in the White House briefing, where to go? Yeah, this one, if you're not familiar, DC Drano is a big guy on the interwebs who I believe he's just like a one-man team kind of thing, and he's just doing the citizen journalist thing, man. So they got him into the White House? I didn't even listen to this one yet. I just saw it before the show here. I thought we would post it up. Let's check this out.
New media seat today, as always, Rogan O'Hanley, former Hollywood entertainment lawyer, I didn't know that, Rogan, who got fed up with the far-left ideologies of California and now posts.
Sorry about the volume, folks. It's the feeds are not very loud. So, like, you might need to bump it up and then bump it back down when we start talking again. We'll try to be quiet when we come back in.
Conservative political commentary online for his more than 7 million followers across all major platforms. He joins us today from the great state of Florida. Why don't you kick us off today, Rogan?
Thank you, Caroline. In Trump's first 99 days, we've seen a coordinated assault on the rule of law by radical judges who are thwarting his agenda with an unprecedented number of national injunctions. These judges are providing more due process to violent MS-13 and Tren de Aragua illegal aliens than they did for American citizens who peacefully protested on January 6th. As Stephen Miller has highlighted, it would be utterly ridiculous to have full trials and appeals for the more than 15 million illegal aliens that came across our border under Joe Biden. Many are now calling for Trump to circumvent these radical judges and consider suspending the writ of habeas corpus solely for these illegal aliens in accordance with the terms of Article 1, Section 9 of the United States Constitution, which explicitly allows for such a measure when there is a rebellion or invasion. There are strong greatest presidents, Abraham Lincoln, Ulysses S. Grant, and Democrats' favorite president of all time, FDR. All three of which are not only celebrated by historians, but are immortalized on our national currency with their faces on there. Furthermore, all three used it against American citizens, where in this instance, we would only be using it against illegal aliens. I think almost every reasonable American would agree that 15 million illegal aliens coming across our border under Joe Biden counts as an invasion, especially since many, as you highlighted, are now robbing, assaulting, raping, and killing American citizens. Historic assaults on our republic require reciprocal action from our government. Can you please let us know if and when the Trump administration is planning to suspend the writ of habeas corpus to circumvent these radical judges who are infringing on his Article 2 powers and to start shipping out illegals en masse?
I have not heard such discussions take place, but I can assure you that the president and the entire administration are certainly open to all legal and constitutional remedies to ensure we can continue with the promise of deporting illegal criminals from our nation's borders. And I also agree with the premise of your question, which doesn't happen in this room often, but I do agree with yours. It is absurd that the previous administration was allowed.
You're just like, oh, come on, man.
To allow 15 million that we know about illegal aliens into this country with very little.
What's with the camera going away from the guy that asked the question? Yeah, don't give the small fry any more FaceTime. I can't believe they let him in here. Like,
pushback from our judicial.
He did sure lock that question in. Like, it was almost more of a little bit like making statements and then having a question.
Sure.
Compare, like, I thought Tim had a lot to say. He took a good solid, like, minute and a half.
Heck yeah.
I mean, it's his first time. So,
it was a little bit long, you know, good intro, right?
Yeah,
you know, like,
yeah, it was kind of like, I was waiting for her to be like, okay, buddy, like, so do you have a question in this, or are you using it like this is one of your YouTube videos to talk about a subject?
Hair on the long side, but the reporters do that shit too, bro. They'll frame the whole question first before they even ask it, kind of thing.
Yeah, I know they do. I just feel like they end up consolidating it to much a shorter thing. But that's what I say. Like
They're not
I
pros.
can't.
They're not
Yeah,
pros.
it's his first time, so like he'll get into the swing of
Steel
things.
man argument. This is why we don't let losers into the press briefing room. Like, well, you gotta like let people like spread their wings, right?
Yeah,
branch.
everybody has to start out from
But
somewhere.
this president is trying to simply enforce our nation's immigration laws and is facing roadblock after roadblock. So we're complying with court orders, but as Tom Homan has said every day, we're going to continue to forge ahead with this mass deportation campaign, and the president is open to all remedies to do that. Thanks for being here today, Rogan.
If I can also answer your question as far as
Wait, hold on. Is Tom gonna be like, yes, I'm down with suspending habeas corpus?
I like how everybody raised their hand except Peter, and the camera's been on Peter this whole time.
Yeah.
It's still on him. Oh, they got DC Drano off to the side, barely into the image now again.
the judges. Look, we just arrested a judge, Pambani, for impeding ICE enforcement removals. I said from day one, you don't have to support ICE's operations. You can support sanctuary cities if that's what you desire to do. Sanctuary cities can stand aside and watch ICE keep their communities safe, because any public official, whether you're mayor, city councilman, or governor, their number one responsibility is protection of communities. And ICE has been clear, we're targeting public safety threats and national security threats. I can't believe there's any elected official, and especially a judge, that doesn't believe we should be doing that, and they should be helping us. What I said from day one, you can sit aside and watch, you can argue against us all you want and protest all you want, but when you cross that line, I've said this 1,000 times, when you cross that line to impediment or knowingly harboring, concealing an illegal alien from ICE, you will be prosecuted, judge or not. And as far as releasing so many people, you know why the Biden administration released?
Heck yeah, Tom.
Which is exactly what just happened recently.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, and I love the mugshot of whatever the Dusage or whatever the woman judge is. Oh, have you seen the mugshot?
No. Oh, the fake one?
Is it fake of her bawling her eyes out?
I saw one with tattoos all over her face.
Oh, okay. No, like you know how Trump's mugshot is legendary, just like, I'm in here. You know, like he's barely showing emotion, but dude, she is like the faucets are turned on, bawling in her mugshot. She is absolutely wrecked.
Well, I mean, definitely got to be jarring, right?
I mean,
see her mugshot.
I don't know why you're like surprised. You should know this would
Because
have
they're
happened.
delusional. I thought we knew this. Like, we figured out they're delusional.
Which is crazy.
Dang, this old lady?
Are you sure it's a lady?
Hannah Dugan.
Dugan, that's what it is. Duggan, Dugan, whatever it is. Yeah. Her picture, her mugshot, she is bawling, bro. She is a wreck.
That's not the mugshot?
There it is.
This is an AI version they just
I was
said.
gonna say, I didn't see. It was a much smaller square before it blown up. I could see the tear is really shining on the cheek. You can tell it's a little AI.
This official mugshot of Judge Hannah Dugan is even worse than the AI version in the orange jumpsuit. Shady business. This photo shown us as AI. Wait, so this one's AI generated too? She currently does not have a mugshot publicly available. Interesting. So all
How
of them are
come
AI?
everybody else's mugshot is so?
Dang, the AI videoed it.
I imagine that's about what it's like. Well, you know, that is probably just for our enjoyment of memeing it, because the no emotion makes more sense. Just like Carmelo Anthony, he's like, I don't see what I did wrong. I just killed a kid. What's wrong with that? Like,
Well, he says he's defending himself. Oh, something.
yeah,
But what's crazy is he did not say that he felt like his life was in jeopardy. Or like
yeah, he
it's the only time that you get to kill somebody, right?
yeah, if your life is definitely at risk, then you can defend it in said way. But at the same time, I feel like everybody has that was the inch we gave them. And as we know the saying, give them an inch, they take a mile. Wow. Holy leprechaun. What the heck was that? But yeah, they basically take it a mile now on, oh, dude, like, I was, have you ever, like, seen Final Destination? He could have just, like, pushed me back and, like, I could have fell on a chair and then the chair collapsed and one of the legs could have went into my spleen and I would have bled out. Like, I was in fear for my life from him pushing me. Like, wow, you grew up in a soft ass life. That does not get like especially when no fists were swung.
Not enough.
Like, I just can't wait to see. Are we ever gonna see this video? Apparently, there's this video that was confiscated for evidence. Come on, show that shit. The people want to see it. I bet they're not going to show it just because it's going to be damning evidence to convict.
It's going to be wildly incriminating.
Yeah. And then then they're going to have BLM riots all over again because they're going to be upset cookies that, the law was enforced justly and it didn't favor a certain side.
Like he's going to be the next, what's his face?
You going to say Rittenhouse?
Nah,
You're going to say, it's not the same as Rittenhouse.
The guy that
all.
did fentanyl and went down to start of the riot.
Oh, Floyd.
Yeah, he's going to be the next, like, Floyd guy.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. This is the new Floyd epidemic.
So then that would really lay credence to, like, this was a conspiracy theory of, like, he was nudged.
That's like...
It's very coincidentally timed.
That's what I've wondered. And I
wonder if my tinfoil hat's too big.
Well, like, I mean, first, the no emotion on this kid the whole time.
Yeah.
What if he got swapped out for a cyborg? Big tinfoil hat. Yeah. That is a good point.
I don't know, man.
I like how I seen a commercial or like an ad for Fortnite the other day, and the only thing you see, like, they make it big on the screen too. V for violence. And I'm just thinking, I mean, yeah, it's not, it's like fluffy colors and, really cartoony. But at the same time, yeah, it is guns shooting people. And who's the main audience that I know plays Fortnite?
Cheering.
Yeah, 8-year-olds.
Yeah. Like adults play it too, but kids play the shit out of it too.
Yeah. Like, I wonder how that generation is going to end up.
Oh, I mean, like, we got raised up on 007, and I'm not running around murdering people. And GTA.
Yeah, true.
It's all about the parents, bro. Parents, moralities, values.
Yeah, that I'd say that's the main one, the morality. And as we know through the year, because what do we not have in class anymore? The Pledge of Allegiance. Also, they've taken, they made sure God is totally like, it's like illegal to be talked about in public school, which, what does it say on our freaking notes?
Which notes?
The dollar.
Dollars.
Yeah. Had to get critical on the terminology here so see who would be able to pick up and who knows actually about how the money system works. Yeah, all those notes, all of our currency pieces have something to do with God.
Right.
It's almost like it's talked about in our laws and our Constitution. Because if you think about the Bill of Rights, it's pretty damn similar to the Ten Commandments.
Very similar.
But they've been,
They're like the doves.
if you want to take over, well, as the communists have said from back in the day, if you want to infiltrate a country, what's the best way to do it? It's hard and it's way harder to do it forcefully, which is through war and just taking territory over, which is what we've been seeing with Russia and Ukraine. But when you're not going to be able to, or it's going to be a really hard military battle, what's the next way you do it? You take out the morality and fabric of their culture, their strong society, that what keeps people together. And that is what they've been doing, slow chip by chip.
Psychological warfare.
They have
get the
been
kids.
taking the morality out of our country. So then it is much easier to say give somebody TDS syndrome, and then all of a sudden the country is just falling apart because they believe that Orange Man's bad and we need an anti-dictator, except they are doing the dictator shit and they are trying to shoehorn communism into our society through socialism because
Very much seems that way.
they complain. What are they all complaining about? I'm losing basically free government supplied stuff. Okay, guess what? This country was never supposed to be government handout. It was supposed to be the land of opportunity. Whatever you did, you could make the most of. But guess what? Keyword, you still doing something.
Well, and I always love to point
You
out
have to
that-
work hard. You have to make something of your life. If you get handed shit, guess what? That's the participation trophies. You get used to, you don't go out and do anything because you expect the handout. You expect somebody to feed you instead of feeding yourself. All of a sudden, communism sounds really good. And then all of a sudden, you're starving because there isn't enough nobody's working to get the stuff so it can be free for you. And all of a sudden, you starve to death like the millions upon millions of people that happened during Mao's China.
Largest murderer
Except they know
of
nothing about Mao's China.
anything at all, beats all viruses, beats all humans. The largest murderer of all humans in all of history is the idea of communism. So it says a lot of things on the interwebs.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, they're 100% implementing this plan. And like I always like to point out that even in the Communist Manifesto from Marx, he even says that socialism is just a shoehorn for communism, right? It's like he preaches it, right, or admits it or something, right?
Yeah.
So I always find it wildly ignorant when the hardcore socialists or Marxists are trying to like argue with you that it's not like to lead to communism. It's like, did you read the book that you said you're fighting for? Like they literally say it. And then this was brought to me and the wifey's attention here. The 45-point communist plan. We were watching this awesome documentary called The Agenda. If you're into this stuff, you should check that out. We watched it on Amazon. I think it was on Amazon for renting or purchase, but The Agenda by Curtis Bowers. There's The Agenda 1 and 2. But yeah, these plans are like literally being implemented, man. There's 45 of them. We don't got to go through all of them, but U.S. acceptance of coexistence as only alternative to atomic war, U.S. willingness to capitulate in preference to engaging in atomic war, extension of long-term loans to Russia and Soviet satellites, provide America aid to all nations regardless of communist domination, grant recognition to Red China, set up East and West Germany, allow all Soviet satellites individual representation in the UN. I feel like this is a different one. The one that was in the documentary. Yeah. Present homosexuality, degeneracy, and promiscuity as normal, natural, and healthy.
Okay.
Like things like that, bro. Break down culture standards of morality by promoting pornography and obscenity in books, magazines, motion pictures, radio, and TV.
Man, what's that really similar to?
Right.
Oh, kind of like what the certain Jews were doing in Germany before Hitler started doing his thing.
Right. Eliminate all laws governing obscenity by calling them censorship and violation of free speech and free press. Control art critics and directors of art museums. Our plan is to promote ugliness, repulsiveness, meaningless art.
Oh, you mean like a banana tape to a frickin' wall?
Or the weird dark art that like comes up all the time, right? Continue discrediting American culture by degrading all forms of artistic expression. An American communist cell was told to, quote, eliminate all good sculptures from parks and buildings, substitute shapeless, awkward, and meaningless forms. Oh, you mean like the Rockford symbol?
And what did they do during Biden's presidency?
Infiltrate the press.
They ripped down statues like Ulysses S. Grant.
How about this one? Use student riots to foment public protests against programs or organizations which are under communist attack. Gain control of all student newspapers, get control of the schools, use technical decisions of the courts to weaken basic American institutions by claiming their activities violate civil rights, capture one or both of the political parties in the United States.
Which is, man, have you seen the commercial for AOC? Like, not it's basically a presidential like commercial.
No, I don't watch it.
But it's not. Well, she talks about how they want you to, they're trying to bring us apart on this and divide us this and blah blah blah. But we cannot be divided. We gotta beat the Republicans. Wait a second. Do you understand what you just said? You're not you just talk like you want a collective for the country, yet you're literally saying screw that other side.
Right. Is this it?
I think so.
Idaho, I am so touched being here. I'm a girl from the Bronx. To be welcomed here in this state, all of us together, seeing our common cause, this is what this country is all about. Don't let them trick us into thinking we are enemies. Don't let them trick us into thinking we can be separated into rural and urban, black and white and Latino. We are one.
Alexandria, they told us this was a conservative state. They got it wrong.
And Idaho, I know that looking around here, it can feel impossible for Republicans out here to be defeated. That's not true. It's simply not true. And from the waitress who is now speaking to you today from this podium, I can tell you, impossible is nothing.
And as Alexandria just said, when we stand together, when we do not allow them to divide us up, there is no stopping us.
Miracles start with mustard seeds, and that is what each and every one of you represent today. Small miracles of faith in ourselves, in each other, and in the...
Wait, why mustard seeds?
But because they're a very tiny seed.
Okay, very tiny. Okay, neato. Yeah, that's a good rant.
Let them play. I feel like
refusal to give up.
New York, man.
All this talk about they don't want to divide us, but we got to beat the Republicans.
Look, I'm Hispanic. What? I put upside down exclamation marks in my little graphic. Good job.
She is mentally challenged.
So did you hear the good news? RFK officially put the old food colorings on notice.
About time.
Gone by 2026, he's saying.
Right. I am carrying extra weight.
Anyone who brings candy into this camp is not your friend.
No dinner, no lunch, no breakfast.
Looks like my man's packing. Who would like to own up to this treasure trove?
My grandma runs faster than you, and she's only got one leg.
Oh, look. A deli meat.
I eat success for breakfast.
With skim milk.
You disgust me.
Well, congratulations. You just joined the 76% of Americans who forget to stretch before physical activity.
Another great Benny Johnson
story for a super villain. Look at what they did to
that was good. That's a great movie too.
RFK. RFK was on his way back from the UFC.
Yeah, basically. He's been burying the leads a lot lately. But yeah, man, put the food colorings on notice. No more petroleum-based food colorings, eh? And I heard Coca-Cola just announced that they were actually going to like immediately look into changing everything. They're not going to wait till 2026.
I mean, that's the way to get ahead of the curve. That's good. But also, like they talk about how acidic Coke is and everything. But when you look at the ingredients, well, I guess it's mostly the Mexican Coke in the glass bottles.
Yeah, that
It's
was
like
sugar cane.
it's actually a really simple soda, like ingredients wise.
RFK tells Governor Morrissey to his face that he's fat and needs to lose 30 pounds still. Savage.
Is that true information or?
Oh my God! Does he play the clip here? Hold on.
RFK did this, actually. He roasted a governor to his face who's a little overweight, Governor Morrissey of West Virginia. And bring it back, This is old school.
He doesn't play it.
Wonderful thing. This explaining have a force majeure on.
Oh man, he doesn't play it. It's awesome.
Oh, let's look at we're already on X on one of the tabs. Let's find end wokeness.
Oh, you just want to find it?
Yeah, let's play the clip. End wokeness.
Oh, is that who had it?
Yeah.
How'd you spell Morrissey?
Morgan Freeman.
Instead of showing us her substance and character, the DNC.
Am I spelling it right?
I mean,
Where to go?
it was you were on it. You just had to go back to the video.
It's something that he explained.
2 R's, 1 S.
I got to know, I said to Dr. Morris, or Governor Morrissey, the first time I saw him, I said, "You look like you ate, Governor Morrissey." And there was a lot of talk about getting healthy again, and I'm very happy that he's invited me to be his personal trainer. And I am going to put him... I'm going to put him on a really rigorous regimen. And we're going to put him on a carnivore diet. We're going to make him raise your hand if you want Governor Morrissey to do a public weigh-in once a month.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And then when he's lost 30 pounds, I'm going to come back to the state and do a celebration and a public weigh-in with him. I got to know, I said to...
Okay, so it wasn't like in a snarky jerk way. That's what's up.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I was gonna say. I'm pretty sure. Is end wokeness on the right? Are they left leaning or right leaning?
Always are hardcore on our side, bro. Hardcore, super hardcore our side.
Yeah.
And wokeness good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those X titles, they kind of like make it sound like they'd be one way, but which they do on purpose to try to get right people to like, come on in and support us, and then they try to feed you garbage and try to hope you're gonna get like TDS syndrome.
When you got the Donald Trump after his attempted assassination shot on your banner, and then you be posting all these thingies, you're on our side. Oh, did you see this one, bro? They're trying to bring up impeachment papers on Trump. Everybody's talking kind of slight shady. They're like, wait a second, why do we have a congressman that can barely speak English? Like, and he's, what? Wait, hold on.
This is Congressman Shri Thanedar. Donald Trump has already done real damage to our democracy, but defying a unanimous 9-0 Supreme Court ruling, that has to be the final straw. It's time we impeach Donald J. Trump. The court said the wrongfully deported Kilmer Garcia must be allowed to return and receive due process. Trump ignored it. He ignored the Constitution. He ignored the very checks and balances that keep our democracy intact. This isn't an isolated.
I thought this guy was like a meme when I scrolled past this earlier, and I was like, bruh, that hair don't look real or something. I don't know. This guy.
I'm wondering what's with the teeth. Like, I feel like he's had some work done. I feel like he's bought and paid for, or his parents are very ashamed of him, because I know quite a few Indians that
Same.
They love Trump.
Yeah, they're Trump all day.
Yeah, because they know he's about the business.
India
And-
just signed a deal with us on a trade deal with JD Vance.
Yeah, you know why that's nice and important? Because what's the I in the BRICS, which is were the people trying to leave the U.S. dollar as the main, main currency bidding tool of the
You
world?
haven't heard anything about BRICS lately.
Well, I mean, BRICS was Brazil. Forget what the R. Oh yeah, Russia, India, China,
Right.
and I don't know, Sudan. I think it was.
Saudi Arabia.
Oh, the Saudis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, wow, what a slap in BRICS face that they're. Oh, what are they? BRICS without the I now?
Yeah, I wonder.
Yeah.
I wonder. Burks. So I found that to be very interesting. Get rid of them guys. I'm into it, man.
I mean, the UK's already got a bunch of them banned. How come we still got them?
Well, I mean, one
Oh
thing
yeah,
the UK does.
they want us dumb.
One thing the UK does good is the chemicals in our food. But one thing they do bad is now they're talking about dimming the sun with chemtrails. So they're just going to put a fog in front of the sun to block out its harsh rays to stop climate change. You win some, you lose some, right? No food dies, but
no, it's weird because their food. Well, I don't know if it's everywhere in the UK or if it's just certain territories, but yeah, their food's decent. But yeah, they want to do.
I hear their food sucks.
Will they let in all the radicals and then make it illegal for you to even think thoughts about anti-abortion within 200
and they're arresting you
yards
for
of-
posting things on the internet.
Yeah.
But they do good. They have good like consumer protection laws, so you can return your thingy if it fails 3 years
Yeah.
later.
I feel like they are just they're like a store with just a horrible management.
Right.
Where people love the product, but the management's horrible.
Or a ninny manager that just says yes to everybody. Yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want the food dies? Yeah, sure. You want to open the borders and let everybody in? Yeah, sure. I'm just up here trying to get paid.
Wait, the sun gives us sunburn? We should block it out? Okay, yeah.
It's causing climate change? Okay, drop the chemtrails. Yes. I just say yes to everything because I have no spine.
Well, we're just talking about.
Yeah. A check Kate deal here.
Heck yeah.
Check
out Kate. She's doing the great work.
When you're the guy that just posts everything all the time. So God did it twice.
Check late.
Sometimes, you just gotta run gun post, bro. So oh yeah, wait.
You just put late instead of mate. What are you doing?
Trying to do a million things at once, fam. We're hold on here. Check mate deal. This, I believe, is the news piece I was just mentioning about India here.
That shills are
Good friend of the show here, Liberal Hive Mind. Definitely check him out. What's the name? India about to cash in on China-U.S. trade war.
Are hard at work on a trade agreement built on shared priorities, like creating new jobs, building durable supply chains, and achieving prosperity for our workers. In our meeting yesterday, Prime Minister Modi and I made very good progress on all of those points. And we were especially excited to formally announce that America and India have officially finalized the terms of reference for the trade negotiation. I think this is a vital step toward realizing President Trump's and Prime Minister Modi's vision because it sets a roadmap toward a final deal between our nations.
That's JD Vance, fresh off his diplomatic trip to India, now announcing that they've come to the final terms of a new reciprocal trade agreement that's likely to.
Yeah, this is a big deal, bro, because like second in line for the manufacturing stuff where everybody went to after like China was getting a little saturated and starting to like, up their prices or something, right? Is it over to India, man? And then I don't know if this
India's
one's-
been booming over the last decade.
and more than one because they went to democracy. So I forget what they used to be, but it wasn't democracy. They all got together and they switched to democracy, and I guess it just like started taking off like something capitalism, not democracy. Capitalism. And then all of a sudden like, producing things made them get their shit together as a country. What do you know?
I don't know what the clip really was, like the goal of it in the end, but I seen this clip earlier where this guy, it had to been at like a city hall. This dude gets up on stage and instead of like talking about an issue, at least in like what I seen of it, he probably had an issue to bring up at the end, but it was just like a stand-up comedian wanted to like get some get some screen time, so he ended up getting up on stage at a city hall and then just slanging jokes. And he kept like everybody was there obviously like because we got problems to solve in our city hall, right? And he's just telling jokes, so like not many people were laughing or amused at all. It was mostly just like, wow, way to waste the time, guy. Like that's what an open mic night's for. But he had a great one where he was like, yeah, so I forget the product he tried talking about, but it essentially what like, oh man, I got this thing and it had a UV light in it for killing bacteria. And it made me think, oh wait, UV light kills bacteria? Man, so why don't we put a sun over India? And nobody laughed. He's just like, oh man, hard crowd, huh? Like it's just like,
well, I hear
it
it's
was
messy
like,
there. There's a lot of parasites, like.
Oh, the main thing is they don't use like gloves and they use their bare hands to scoop the food and put it in the dishes for you and stuff like that.
Everybody,
And the stereotypical joke is like, if an Indian guy touched it, there's dookie now. There's dookie.
Right.
There's fecal matter involved in it.
Well, everybody thinks those taco trucks are dope, bro, but I feel like they ain't even using gloves to put the food back together there, man. So
Or like they're open.
I don't know about them taco trucks, man.
Or they're running a whole long hours. When do they kind of like? Well, the main thing is the truck stops. When I thought about it, somebody brought up the point of like them TAs, like them 24-hour like truck stops. So they got a buffet or they're doing food 24 hours a day.
F that, bro.
They're like, think about it. They're serving food 24 hours a day. When do they clean the kitchen? Like, oh wait, hold on a minute. Crap. That's a slightly good point there. If they never stopped cleaning the kitchen, are they just horrendously dirty? Like, oh crap, no. And then you think of a stereotypical, trucker, and he's like slightly overweight.
Like he gets it.
Maybe, you're like, oh wait, it kind of fits the bit. Ah, crap, is the food kind of nasty? But damn, them truck stops make some good food. A lot of them, not all of them, but some of it, the food is, you can tell it's a little gross. But a lot of them, they slang some good food, which is why truckers get big, because when they stop, they're like, damn, I'm gonna eat some more because this is actually some good food.
I don't know if these are all bangers, but I thought these could be nice comic relief for today. So top 8 savage comebacks that the libs won't like from good old Defiant L. Defiant L's on Twitter's a good one to follow on the X. Is that zoomed in right? Okay. Because this first one caught my eye. So Ilhan Omar says, members of Congress should never be allowed to trade stocks, period. Snarky reply number 1. Or marry their brothers.
I love the user. Tard finder.
And he's got bangers, bro. He goes hard, dude.
And
he's all over.
The picture for it is absolutely great.
The 4chan one. If you're not familiar, Ilhan Omar is all but convicted currently of allegedly marrying her brother illegally, among other illegal activities that the Minnesota, she's from Minnesota, right? I think it's Minnesota.
I think that's where she.
There's I think a representative or a senator or something who's like hell bent on driving this. He's taking it all the way home, baby. So he's pushing for an investigation into Ilhan Omar committing several felonies.
Good. Minnesota needs to be swung around.
Swamp
They
cleaned, bro.
Like, I don't know how the place with so many lakes and great hockey ended up becoming so blue and dumb.
Number 2. As a UK man living in mostly gunless society, answer me this, America. Why do civilians need guns like this? And this is Marjorie Taylor Greene and is that Lauren Boebert?
Yep.
We've got snarky reply here, number 2. Our founders needed guns so we wouldn't have to care that England thought ever again. I agree. Not very snarky, just factual.
Misread a little bit, but yeah.
Wouldn't have to care what England thought ever again. I agree. And this guy's from England, I believe, is the point. Yeah, as a UK man.
Yeah, great. Yeah,
right.
That's why he's still there
Like
and not
we
here.
left there to like not give a shit.
But
bro.
that's why that dude lives in the United Kingdom and not here.
All right, right.
Because he obviously doesn't understand that. So you stay over there until you figure it out, bud, or come here and
get with the program.
Get a taste of the life and not want to go back.
Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro challenges Elon Musk to fight on national television. Elon accepts it. This is going to be like the Facebook one where it's just like stupid banter on the internet. Swing and a miss. Transgenders are fake. If transgenders are fake, how did I just ratio you? $1,000 comments. Does it say comments? 9,000 likes? I don't get it.
I'm a little lost.
125K views?
That one has 1.1 million views.
I don't know if that was a successful snark. Yeah, I don't know if these are all bangers.
I
just thought that one responding to Ilhan Omar was hilarious.
Wait, go back up. What did Defiant L say about it?
I'm good. Swing and a miss.
Okay, so yeah, it's because her reference just doesn't make sense.
Perhaps.
I mean, I guess the out ratio is because he has more traffic on his compared to hers. So.
Well, I think she was trying to say,
like, she was in support of transgenders, and
bet. So she lost because her numbers were down. We're stupid. I'm stupid. So yeah, he had way more interactions. Maybe drop this now. The obsession has been scary. J.K. Rowling says, sorry to hear women defending their rights scares you. Maybe go F yourself. I don't know. Not the greatest thread. The first one had me dying.
yeah, the first one was good. Kind of fell off after that.
What is this one? Oh man, yeah, this is pretty interesting. I guess we have to be careful about sending our kids even to private schools. Like that's not just like the fix-all.
Do you want me to give you a fun example of how little our government officials know about what's happening in private equity? Just a really fun example. Why do they want to shut down TikTok? What's the excuse they've been using? We know it's because Meta is paying them, but what excuse are they using?
Because China, it's dangerous that they're going to own our data. It's for national security.
All of the politicians have kids in private school for their safety, not because they're elitist. It's for their safety. They're in some of the most elite private schools in the United States, in every state in the United States. Do you know who acquired the largest collection of private school, like super elite private schools in the United States?
Who?
It sounds Italian. Primavera Private Equity. you want to know who they're owned by?
Who?
The Chinese Communist Party is literally in control of the most elite prep schools in the United States and the curriculum being taught to our politicians' children.
Wow.
I don't think anyone's ever actually let me say that on a podcast. I've never gotten that out. So you might have a fun clip there.
I mean, we all knew the Chinese were, controlling the old colleges and whatnot, and we speculate that that's why we have a bunch of woke ideology that's leading towards the whole socialism, communism. But this lady's true.
And the worst part is them trying to buy our farmland. What are they trying to do there?
Yeah, they're trying to make that illegal too, right?
What I think it was Arkansas that said that made it illegal for the Chinese to be there, and they can all that they're going to seize the land back, something like that. Props to them. Or private.
Yep, Primavera is a capital group, is Chinese-based investment firm. Oh, because it's the same chat. It keeps trying to bring it back to Larry Fink. Beijing, Shanghai, Singapore, Palo Alto.
I mean, maybe BlackRock does. Hey, that'd be a good. Is BlackRock invested into Primavera?
Is BlackRock connected to them? No direct significant connection. All right. Very interesting. Oh, okay. Here we go. Now we're to this week's James O'Keefe.
Mr. James.
If you don't get that one,
Hits
folks,
him again.
James O'Keefe goes undercover as an independent journalist wearing glasses and fools these people into spilling the beans. And then later, he takes his glasses off and he confronts them and asks them why they told him all the dirt.
He Clark Kent's them.
All right. So, draining the deep state, DOD branch chief calls President Trump illegitimate, vows to resist him. Everything he does, claims Pete Hegseth is insanely young and unfit to lead. Nobody I know should be the Secretary of Defense. So, like, if he knows him, they shouldn't be the Secretary of Defense? What? But, here, let's listen to this one. Oh, we can't, like...
Guy who tried to overthrow an election is just like truly setting us down a path of dictatorship. He's illegitimate. He's terribly immoral, breaking every norm. We're gonna resist him. Everything he does.
James O'Keefe here in Arlington, Virginia, in front of the Pentagon. The branch chief inside the Pentagon saying on hidden camera he's going to resist against Trump and Hegseth. Now, since President Trump was elected and assigned Pete Hegseth as Secretary of Defense, the DOD has faced a number of leaks in the past few months from employees inside the Pentagon.
There's some type of deep state forces that want to make sure you don't stay there.
They've come after me from day one, just like they've come after President Trump. I mean, I've gotten a fraction of what President Trump got in that first term.
The Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, has been going on media interviews expressing that there are people within the Pentagon who want to resist the president and hurt his policies.
I know exactly why I'm here, to rip out the insidious ideologies and not compromise and not back down, to reestablish standards and accountability.
Nicholas Terza, a branch chief within the DOD, expressed dissatisfaction with his new boss, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, claiming he is too young for the job.
So I'm assuming that your boss isn't Pete Hegseth.
Ultimately, he is my boss.
Okay.
But this is insane. I actually know Pete Hegseth.
You do? Like personally?
This is so crazy. Like, that's not a good reflection on me. That's a bad reflection on Trump. Like, nobody I know should be the Secretary of Defense.
Oh no.
Like, he's insanely young to be the part. Like, and he wasn't that high up in the military. He used to be in the DC National Guard.
Oh, did you guys work together? Or?
Yeah, I mean, in our side hustle in the National Guard.
Oh.
And I met him in my unit. He was just in my unit. And I don't know, I can go on about who that's at.
Now, Nicholas Terza claims that he knows Hegseth from the D.C. National Guard, but we spoke to a senior official at the Pentagon who said that's not true, that Hegseth has not ever heard of this man or seen him.
But what do you think the intent is? Is it like they want
One of those where they're talking ish on a date just to sound like fancy cool.
First off, unless that dude's using like product, Hegseth's got more gray hair than he does. So is he not older than him? If he's saying he's too young,
Some people are just blessed.
right? I mean, well, like, yeah, I'd like to know.
to hurt America?
I think they don't care who they hurt to enact a change that they see making America in a populist conservative framework more traditional, even if that means being sexist or racist or chauvinist.
Terza also saying on hidden camera he did not know he was being recorded, that Trump is an illegitimate president, an immoral dictator, and they plan to resist everything Trump does.
The same guy who tried to overthrow an election is just like truly setting us down a path of dictatorship. He's illegitimate. He's terribly immoral, breaking every norm. We're gonna resist him. Everything he does. I'm a very patriotic person.
Every single thing. Just every single thing.
I'm a very patriotic person.
And I've never been less patriotic.
Now, the reason this is concerning, the Department of Defense is often directly responsible for the president's safety in the event of travel, events, campaign rallies, and everything else.
What's your least favorite thing about Trump?
Oh, that he utterly lacks any moral principle. The worst thing about him is his utter lack of moral principle. The second worst thing about him is how stupid he could be.
Should the president's safety be entrusted with people who believe that he is illegitimate and immoral? And here we have a field trip. Let's take a look. People are coming in. Hello, everyone. How you doing? This is James O'Keefe reporting live in front of the Pentagon at the Memorial, Air Force Memorial here in Arlington, Virginia. Stay tuned.
Good work, James. Good work.
How stupid he can be. You just got caught on hidden camera saying a bunch of silly things. Are you sure? You want to call him stupid? Because you're a little stupid there, bud. But, I'm gonna look up how old Nicholas Sir Terza is. Sir Nicholas Terza. Nicholas.
Bombshell. Yeah, there's like another one that he's dropping here. Breaking news. James O'Keefe is about to expose the man who fired him at Project Veritas. Oh, interesting. This website is not responsive, so I couldn't just keep zooming in. But you heard me say the main point here. Oh, I see. This is Matthew Tiermand. Tiermand. He's a board member who fired me from Project Veritas. Well, you may know who he is. That's about to change soon. We've obtained new evidence about what happened. He knows what he did. That's why he sends pornographic, unhinged messages to me on a weekly basis. What? That's why one message was a picture of me nailed to a crucifix. That's why he posted private medical records and intimate texts of employees, loved ones who he wanted to harm. Messages were obtained from devices of employees. That's why he said we wanted to, quote, carve out James's heart and eat it in front of him. This man is afraid because he's been subpoenaed. He has very much to hide. He will be brought to justice, so help me God. Hot damn, bro.
Nicholas Ryan Terza is 44 years old.
Yeah, that's something that's wrong with like culture right now. Is like the United States was founded by like 20 to 40-year-olds and 50-year-olds. And so like, you know,
We'll see how old Peter is. But also, for anybody listening, if you want to reach out and let them know how you feel, maybe with a piece of mail or something, allegedly, he currently lives at 1020 North Quincy Street, Unit 319, Arlington, Virginia, 22201.
I don't think you're supposed to do that on the internet, bro.
FastPeopleSearch.com apparently gives information. Like, I didn't think that you could just have, I mean, maybe because he's a public official. But if you want,
who's Michael Jacobs, bro?
I mean, well, I'm just.
He's a trooper still podcast. Yo, what are you talking about, Niltmir? We're not sure who you are even talking about, brother. What do you mean we're taking hits?
Somehow Ashley Furniture comes up when I look that up. Wow, Ashley Furniture, you've got a great SEO happening. No matter what you search, Ashley Furniture is going to show up.
Well, it's probably a Google sponsored ad, and it knows that you move furniture for a living, so it thought that you might like Ashley Furniture.
Maybe. It's just weird because it's like all Terza stuff, and then the third down. Ashley store in Algonquin, Illinois. Yeah, no, I don't give a crap, Google.
And you're not in Algonquin.
That's crazy. But like, so do all public officials have their info publicly available where they live then?
Pretty sure that's how all the other ones got rioted and stuff, right?
Which ones got rioted? Are you talking about
The Supreme Court Justice guy, and then the recent one was Josh Shapiro, the governor of Philadelphia. Like, people know where Nancy Pelosi lived.
Yeah, I mean, I was figuring, like, generally as a public official, you probably should have to have that, you know. Because kind of like the
punch in the face rule, bro.
That's what I was getting to. Like, yeah, you do something they disagree with, they might show up.
So, you know, like.
And hey, I didn't tell anybody to go and punch, you know, Terz in the face or nothing.
Don't do that.
All I said was,
we don't support violence here in the Truth.
All I was saying is, there's the address if you want to send him a letter on how you feel.
Yes. Like, you should always send a letter to your representative.
That's basically what I'm saying.
Right. Because we don't support doxing here, folks. Nor do we support violence like all the weird people that surround Hillary Clinton. Because, did you know this?
I don't know how it would be like. I wonder if that is somehow like a no-no, like to say somebody's address that is publicly available on
it is. If it's a no-no.
If it's just not supposed to be publicly available, I could see that.
No,
but
even if
what is wrong? Because somebody can Google it and find it.
Because you're still helping, so you're still bringing awareness to it. So you can get in trouble on X and all the other social media platforms and everything for just posting it, even though it's like public stuff.
Yeah,
but
that's
public.
That seems so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's meant to just not like encourage it. Because just like we talked about, where like, you know, they're like, man, this Trump guy's really annoying. He's like Hitler. Man, that'd stink if like Hitler kept living, you know, and then people take some kind of a, you know, crazy thought of like, oh, well, that person wants, you know, this person to be gone. So then you're like incentivizing people to go do things.
Well,
now, what sucks is,
well,
the
yeah,
news
when you
media
say
does this all the
things like
time.
when you say things like that, I mean, yeah, that could be incentivized as said thing.
Which is strange that the news media doesn't get held accountable, right?
Basically, what I just did was just like, hey, if you want to tell your state representative how you feel,
he's just a guy that works at the DOJ,
you give him a call. I mean, guess what? our federal taxes
Right. Still a
pay.
government employee.
Yeah.
I told the DMV lady
he's
how I
still
felt.
one of our people. So that our taxes pay for his living. So I mean, he would also
He
fall
works
under
for
that
us.
category. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he is technically a representative of the people. So you should
Sure.
So you should be able to let him know what you think. In nonviolent manners, don't do harmful things. It is sending a letter of telling him what you think. Don't be like Trolley and threaten to
Do stuff.
mail harmful stuff.
We need to be detailed. So, did you know this, bro? Do you remember RFK? Or I mean JFK?
Yeah.
So JFK was assassinated, right?
Yeah.
Recently, we got those unredacted reports that say CIA was involved, and they were talking to Mossad.
Yeah.
And then, there was
Everybody's
more than
up to
one
speed
shooter.
on what we knew for 3 decades.
Right? And so JFK was assassinated. Why?
Because he was going against the central banking system.
So he was talking about ending the Fed and going greenback money. He was also talking about ending
gold-backed money.
Well, like greenback money, I always think of for some reason the Abe Lincoln version, but yeah, gold-backed money.
No.
He was also talking about closing down the Federal Bureau of Investigation, I believe. And then he was also talking about, secret societies being in the government, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he was getting real mouthy.
Yeah, he was getting real spilling the tea.
And then all of a sudden, he gets assassinated, right? And now we know
Mhm.
there's some kind of a collusionary, like tinfoil hat story that seems to be true, right? So, do you know about JFK Jr.? Because, like, we
No.
all know, like, something airplane thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, he died too, right?
Right?
Like in a slightly weird way.
And so, what was he running for? He was running for senator. And who is he running against? None other than Hillary Clinton?
Oh man, she started a while back.
Totally a coinky-dink, right, bro? Like, super duper coink.
Was a bit of
Remember John F. Kennedy Jr.? He was declared the front-runner for the New York Senate seat back in 1999. Days later, his plane crashed into the Atlantic Ocean, and his rival, Hillary Clinton, was elected senator. Mary Mahoney was a Clinton White House intern. She knew enough of the inner workings of Bill's sexual advancements to be a star witness during the Clinton impeachment trials. She was brutally executed at a Starbucks she was managing in 1997. In 1993, White House counsel Vince Foster was found dead in Fort Marcy Park near D.C. He supposedly killed himself, and among a lengthy list of potential foul play, the bullet was never found. Then there's James McDougal, a key witness for White House prosecutors. He was serving his 3-year sentence for bank fraud at the Fort Worth Federal Medical Center in Texas. And just before he was to give a testimony before the grand jury, McDougal suffered a heart attack in solitary confinement. In 2015, Walter Scheib, a White House chef hired under Bill Clinton, joined the list. His body was found at the bottom of a river, nearly 2 miles from the base of the trail he was reportedly hiking. An autopsy determined that Scheib's death was accidental drowning, but he might have known too much. 27-year-old Democratic National Committee staffer Seth Rich was shot and killed in D.C. this year. There is speculation that he was the source of the controversial leaked emails allegedly sent by DNC staffers, and that he may have been murdered in retaliation. Then Sean Lucas, the lead attorney in a fraud case against the DNC, was found lying on the bathroom floor by his girlfriend when she returned home on August 2nd. His death was reported classified, pending the results of an autopsy. To this day, questions are...
And then didn't RFK run for something as well? And then he had an accident?
Man.
And RFK believes that all 3 of his relatives were
murdered,
taken out and removed.
I'd say I'd see a pattern. Hillary likes deleting emails.
And
She's good at deleting things.
other stuff.
Just emails.
I don't know, folks.
She's
What do you
great.
think?
She's really good at deleting those emails.
These are
you know
just
what I'm
kind
saying?
of facts and ideas and stuff like that. What do you think? Drop your thoughts down below in that live chat.
There's just
comment
so
box.
much. I swear she's got a pot of gold somewhere around her because she's just coincidentally lucky as hell.
Yeah, man, that's wild. I couldn't believe that she was running against JFK Jr.
I mean,
That's wildly interesting.
it makes sense to me. That's for sure. By the way, Peter Hegseth is also 44 years old. So they are the same age. Does he think it should only be people that are nearing retired to be running these positions?
Yeah, what do you call near retirement? Like 10 years probably, right?
Well, if you look at the other ones in Congress, it's good.
They're like over retirement.
65, 70 years old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nancy. I never retire. I'll work this job till I croak.
I can't believe Nancy Pelosi was like with our JFK. I believe in the White House. Was this another James O'Keefe or is this the same?
Same.
Yeah, it's the same.
Same, but same.
Yeah, we covered this one already. And then this was a Kash Patel win, by the way. We were talking last week, I think, about everybody being real antsy and starting to talk shit, or like even the people on our side start to like talk shit and lose faith. Like,
Yeah.
what's Pam Bondi and Kash Patel doing? Like, where no people aren't arrested. And it's like, you know, I agree, but like, give it time. Let's not get all like malicious and say like, you know, crazy shit. Like,
The
So
dude
he came.
the Dugan was crazy because did you hear the story on like how it went down? ICE was at her courthouse to arrest the guy, and she found out, and she was visibly like on video just shaken up and like furious. The reason she got arrested is because she knew this guy was in the courthouse and ICE was then there to arrest him. So she directed ICE elsewhere into the building while she then took this guy and his attorney through a non-regular person like exit.
The back door, you would call it.
Yeah, and escorted him away so hopefully he could get away. And then ICE had to chase him on foot, or had to run him down on foot to then arrest him once they got word that he was outside of the building getting away. So she got arrested for impeding and then also putting other people in danger, because then they had to go run him down, you know, so a bunch of other people then were in danger instead of them just arresting him while he's in the courthouse. You know, he could have held somebody hostage if he wanted to, like while they were
Coulda went
chasing
crazy.
him. Yeah.
Are there two stories? Because then there's one about like them having a criminal alien like in their home.
Yeah, the guy judge.
Is it
Yeah.
it's two separate ones, right?
Yeah, that I forget his name, but he was keeping that illegal living with him and also gave them a firearm.
Right.
Or was letting them knew that he had a firearm.
To work as a handyman. Oh, that's normal. Got it. The feds alleged that the illegal criminal alien has Tren de Aragua tattoos, clothing, social media posts linking to the gang. Social media post shows a Christmas photo of the family. He crossed illegally. That is not up for dispute. He is a gang member. That is not up for dispute. He was released just days after the notice appeared before the judge. Wow. He's being held.
Yeah, is he getting like in trouble from that too then? Or just was it the judge that let the dude out the back?
No, both of them are.
Yeah, they both
I
are, right?
believe that judge and his wife were arrested.
Because it was a whole family endeavor letting it go down?
Yeah. Well, she knew about it and she didn't do anything.
Right.
She was
Like an
obviously
accessory.
Yeah. Sucks to suck to
I don't understand.
to obey what is it? Helping
The law?
Helping abate
aiding and abetting.
aiding and abetting
Yeah.
a fugitive.
Former Judge Joel Cano. Cano?
Oh, the best part is, remember when they were trying to get Trump all hemmed up. Nobody's above the law. And now they're crying. They're like, this is all wrong. You
They were
shouldn't.
trying to be above the law.
Yeah, like, oh, what the hypocrisy, man. It's always there. It is
Yep.
always there on the left.
Whatever they say you are doing, they're actually doing. Kind of like Letitia James, who
Yep.
tried to say Trump was, illegally valuing his properties, and then now she's gonna go to court for
Mortgage fraud.
criminally misvaluating her properties. So,
It's
dude,
a shame.
This judge also gets a lifetime ban from the bench.
Yeah, no, he better.
Yeah, I'll
That-
say you're
that-
tainted, sir.
That's like the cops abusing their power, and then they're like, oh, just a suspension. You can come back, and work on the force after you've been suspended with pay for a while, because naughty you. No, yeah, just like, hey, they don't have slack on lawyers when they mess up. You can
Or a
lose,
citizen, gosh dang it.
You can lose your bar license real quick.
Yep.
But it's a judge, so they're meant to sometimes break the law since they know it so well. What? How would that ever make sense?
No sense to me.
Lock them up.
This is the one I was talking about where we're getting Trump talking about that Act Blue stuff, man. So, thank God we've been talking about this story for over a year now, I believe.
Yeah,
that
just about.
it's definitely something that needs to get investigated, man. Alleged, there's alleged fraudulent Democratic donorships going on here at the Act Blue. So I think this is amazing that Trump's actually starting to talk about Act Blue, because that got to mean they're going to look into it, right? I would only imagine.
I would sure hope so.
If the master in chief here is talking about it.
But does it sound about right that there's been 18,000 contributions?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
In the amount of $170,000?
Absolutely not.
What about $18,850?
I doubt that.
Have you donated to Act Blue in the past?
I don't believe so.
You're listed as someone who's given over 31,000 individual contributions to various causes for a total of $230,000 using your name in this address.
No, that's not us.
James O'Keefe began investigating Act Blue and found peculiar instances where individuals had been making, 3,000 donations over a short period, elderly individuals. Now, that couldn't possibly be true, right? Straw donations. People are contributing in someone else's name, but who, how, and why? Then you have a fear of foreign donations, much in the same way. And now, my friends, it has begun. Trump has ordered the probe of foreign funding and straw.
Yes, it's full ordered a probe. Yes.
Fraud donors in elections after Act Blue fraud claims. President Trump signed a memo Thursday ordering a probe of any illicit straw donors or foreign funding that flowed into federal elections following claims the largest Democratic fundraising platform has accepted fraudulent contributions in 2024. Based on the evidence I have seen, I am of the opinion that it is a fact that Act Blue is funneling foreign donations into the Democratic Party.
Yeah, dude, 110% in my humble opinion.
No, how not?
100%.
And to themselves. I can show you some of the claims. Here's what I'm going to do. Instead of, we've already got a clip of James O'Keefe investigating these things, but instead of going through what he has to say, how about I show you what those trying to debunk the claims have to say? What do you think it would mean if to debunk the claim they argued actually it was largely true, but so what, who cares? That's their debunk. I kid you not. In one article, they said it's not actually a big deal that one individual made 2,400 donations totaling $21,000. That seems totally normal. It really doesn't, especially for elderly people on fixed incomes. Now, Trump has ordered this, and here's what we have from the White House. Fact sheet: President Donald J. Trump investigates unlawful straw donor and foreign contributions in American elections.
Hell yeah.
Investigating straw donors, today President Donald J. Trump signed a presidential memorandum to crack down on illegal straw donor and foreign contributions in American elections, following reports and congressional investigations regarding potentially unlawful activities through Act Blue and other online fundraising platforms.
Oh, man, I'm so excited about this. This is fan-freaking-tastic, bro.
About time.
About time. I think it's absolutely bonkers that This has not been looked into sooner, man. This is gigantic news. Make sure to share this one out, folks. If you got somebody that you think needs to know how crooked these dirty Democrats are, Act Blue is their only campaign donation system. And it seems highly fraudulent.
I would say it goes to say they only care about the money.
Yeah.
It ain't about what's best for Americans.
Yep.
They only care about the money.
Making elections secure again. Voters deserve elections they can trust and that have confidence in being restored thanks to President Donald Trump. President Trump is following through with his promises to secure our elections. President Trump says, we're going to fix our elections so that our elections are going to be honorable and honest again. Very honorable, folks. The most honorable elections possible. He also says we will secure our elections and they will be secure once and for all.
Oh, the dictatorship. He's saying that only him is going to be able to be president. The rest, that is exactly what he's saying, guys. Come on.
Now,
he's a dictator.
I might agree somewhat with that argument if he then finds that Act Blue is entirely fraudulent. So he says his presidential campaigns winning in 2016 and losing in 2020 are null and void. So now he's got two fresh terms again.
Hey, you gotta play the cards you're dealt, you know? Like, can't hate him that much on it when, hey, sometimes you believe you're the best candidate for the job and nobody else is stepping up to outweigh him.
And sometimes you're just right.
Like, you know,
but he's going to be past retirement age, so oh no.
Yeah.
But Nicholas will be cool with it, right? Because he doesn't think young people should be anywhere.
Yeah. Right? He should be totally cool with it.
Even though he said he totally thought Trump was an immoral, horrible, terrible person that somehow is wildly successful.
He should just play it like Obama, though. He should just have somebody else go in there that's a nice face and people will get behind. And then he's just the right-hand man that, he talks with on the golf course every other day and gives them advice on how to run it.
It's tricky, man, because we say the same things about their leaders. Like Obama, we believe that he's actually secretively a terrible, horrible, immoral man. So we all think the same shit about the other side. But what real evidence is there that Obama's a really awesome, amazing humanitarian person?
Yeah, that's the thing. Oh, he gave us Medicare. Medicare, as we are now seeing, has been costing us billions, if not trillions of dollars.
And didn't it ruin the insurance industry where everybody's rates went up? Broke the system.
And it was slightly communist because if you didn't have it, well, come tax time, you then had to pay. So you were good and you were healthy. You didn't abuse. You didn't just use funds in the Medicare system because you didn't need to because you're healthy anyways. Shame on you. You got to pay. You should have just used, the free $50,000 probably that you could use up in equitable use of doctors' time and pharmaceuticals and all that when you didn't need it. Instead of leaving that in the system for somebody else to use that really needs it, you not using it, bad, poo-poo. Now you got to pay more, even though you already pay into Medicare, even if you don't use it.
And it's not people that are really broke and couldn't afford health insurance rather just pay the fine than buy health insurance. That's why they kept increasing the fee each year.
Yeah.
I almost had to get health insurance.
Yeah, I almost did too.
Dodge that bullet.
Yep, dodge that one all right. They can charge these nuts.
Oh yeah, this one was pretty good. I wasn't sure if he was gonna drop it before the show, but if you're into this stuff, Benny Johnson had Mr. James on for a cool interview, but he was hyping the big drop that he was talking about, which we just found out when we looked it up there. It's he's subpoenaed, or he has sued and gotten subpoenaed the man who got him kicked out of Project Veritas. Wouldn't that be nuts if he like wins that stuff? The guy has to leave Project Veritas, and then they're like, James, please, for the love of God, come back. And he's like, all right, folks.
Be more like, yeah, no, I got this. I think it sounds a little better. This James O'Keefe Media Group. Got a better ring to it.
Well, the best part is that it's not a public or it's not a nonprofit, so he doesn't have to have a board. So maybe we'll be like, well, I'll work with you guys again. Like, let's do stuff or something.
Right,
'Cause I've seen
yeah.
some Project Veritas things come out still. Like, they're still doing work.
Yeah.
They just don't have no, like, media team, bro, because, like, ain't nobody heard it.
They used to be known when James was part of it.
Right, because he's the lead dude, bro. That's where they teach you building a business. Like, if you're trying to sell the business, do not build it around the one personality kind of thing, because then it's not sellable.
Yeah. Don't build it around something you can lose.
As soon as that guy goes away, your company is not valuable. Billions in government corruption. 5 or 6 tapes lead to indictments. Have them breaking the law on camera. This is a different bombshell, I feel. So you still got a bombshell to come out. Because breaking the law is not the guy at Project Veritas. They still got a bombshell coming out this week. We'll make sure to post that in the locals community, folks. No, I looked at his tweet post, and the last thing he said was about the Project Veritas guy. So I'm wondering if it's still to come out this week. Because next week would be this week, and we just started. So we'll tell you next week, though. So stay tuned. And if you want to get it right away, just follow Mr. James O'Keefe or Mr. Benny Johnson on the X. Or you can follow me, Mastache.
Or you can create that locals account and follow the Mastache of Insights.
Just click that locals.mastache.com link down in the description below, folks. Super easy, free account. Just use your Rumble account. And to make a Rumble account, just use your Google account. Nice and easy. No new username, no new password needed.
Yeah, maybe even use your AOL account.
Yeah. I mean, you could, but, you should probably get a better email by now. I don't know if you've been paying attention at all, but we had a bunch of gun rights stuff going through. And a big one was the DOJ was trying to push for what was it? Dang. The DOJ was trying to fight against the Second Amendment, right? And the Trump administration just said, we're going to withdraw our part of this case, so we don't want nothing to do with this no more. So they removed the DOJ from fighting against the Second Amendment that Biden's administration had created. So we're getting a bunch of 2A wins recently. This one right here was I said, I feel like this is definitely bigger than a small win for gun rights. Let's see what Dan thinks. They protected the Second Amendment task force set up by Trump says we're going to back out of the court case over 80%ers. That's what it was about. 80%ers. And this is our good friend, Mr. Armed Scholar.
The Supreme Court recently upheld the ATS rule, which regulates unfinished frames and receivers. However, now AG Bondi and the DOJ have publicly pulled their support of this rule and pulled their support of one of these lawsuits. This is a huge development, so let's break down what just happened. Now, really quick before we jump into this video.
So that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, it's been bouncing around for a couple weeks now. And people are always back and forth with what Pam Bondi's doing, but I think that's just how it goes, especially with the courts. Goes from one court, gets a good ruling, goes to the other court that's basically, all Biden appointees or Obama appointees, and it bounces the other way, goes everywhere. But for the most part, we are starting to see some light at the end of the tunnel.
But this is a 7-2 Supreme Court decision, and the DOJ said, yeah, we're not going to push anything anymore. We're just going to back out now. That's pretty good.
Yeah, definitely is.
And then
you hear that, United Kingdom people?
80%ers for the audience are
80%ers are pieces that are 80% of the way there, but you can't just put parts in it to make it work. You have to you have to you have to put in some work into the thing. You have to actually physically change the piece that is 80% to then what makes it work. Oh, maybe if it was at 100, you have to do the other 20% of the work, finishing and changing, manipulating said piece to make it a usable firearm, which is basically where you're a hobbyist and you just want to make it as custom as you can, so you get the piece where it doesn't have a bunch of work that you might not like how it is from another company.
So people that like playing with firearms and stuff like that can buy these things, and it should be allowed because Second Amendment, right?
Because back in the day, people used to build their own firearms.
Makes sense.
And that's part of, like we're supposed to be able to make anything we want in America.
Yeah, freedom stuff.
For the most part, there's things.
Can't make an Apple computer.
Unless you're really skilled and you have some very, very tiny fingers.
Well, they got hacks now, so we can make a Hackintosh. So we're actually kicking Apple's ass in that one. So I can get a Windows machine, screw you Apple hardware, and I can just put Mac OS on it.
Yeah. I was more thinking like if you started from where you're making the silicon chips.
Yeah, sure. Not from
like
scratch.
that.
Not from scratch.
But
Like have more control of my computer, so it's not locked down entirely by Apple.
Yeah. Like you've always been able to.
And if something breaks, I could actually repair it.
Yeah.
Unlike a Mac product.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you do have a Mac product and it's broken, I am the only guy in town that fixes them, I think. I just fixed this guy's screen on his MacBook Pro. And what was awesome was I said, hey, what do you do? And he goes, oh, I sell this like tool on the internet for like making websites and setting up automations. And I was like, wait, I do that too. And then he knew like Alex Hormozy and Russell Brunson and all the greats. And I was like, wait, we got to be friends.
Wait, did we just become best friends?
Yeah.
Cue the stepbrothers.
Pretty cool dude, man. He was he does professional voice lessons. Used to be in a band. Moved out of Cali during COVID because it's a communist state.
Hey.
So pretty cool. Back over here now.
Well,
moved up to Wisconsin. Just comes here to visit the family.
Okay, good. I was gonna say if it sounded like he was in
Illinois,
Illinois.
bad choice.
Who lived in commie country, went to commie country, came back to commie country. Like it's not really escaping the communism, but yes, it's good to go a little up north.
Oh my gosh, bro!
A little up north.
I don't know if everybody's into this one. I don't know if this is too inside baseball, but I just love watching debates when somebody gets owned.
It's good.
And this one's like in the like, the new Signal Gate like style. So he got one of those
Signal Gate.
He got one of those rare like lefty people to come on the show that like wasn't like was thinking that she wouldn't look like a total fool or that he'd be too nice. I don't know.
Oh,
she thought she had more of
I
her.
didn't realize this was the Timcat. Yeah,
She had more of
I
her
see.
crap together, bro. But I don't know. This was wildly interesting to me.
What Goldberg and the media apparatus did with Signalgate and what they're continuing doing now isn't actually solving the problem of Signal being used or of accidentally texting people. It's just it's partisan hackery.
How do we know that that hasn't stopped the use of Signal?
It hasn't stopped the use of Signal.
By elected officials, by appointed officials?
According to the four anonymous sources, I'm saying, in their view, it's still happening.
I don't know if that they said it was still happening. I thought that they said it was happening concurrently. I haven't read that.
The other issue on top of this is the second Signalgate story, which again is largely a liberal Democrat phenomenon.
I think definitely I'm biased. I like this because this is how I argue with people because I know all the effing facts, and then they don't know them, and they're like, now you're just being mean.
Wait, like I read this last week. Yeah, I read stuff up till yesterday, so you're a little behind the curve there.
Or did you just read the headline?
Because the right doesn't care about it.
Yeah, I mean, you can say what people.
There's
care
no
about.
information as to what was in these chats. It's just
Hold up.
vagaries. So
you know you're losing when you're on your phone researching in the conversation about
why is this the news? This is not speaking truth to power. This is not holding anyone to account. This is not a mission. This is partisan nonsense.
I don't think it's partisan nonsense. I don't know why you're defending them. They look like fools.
I think this is the issue. You believe truth is the defense of Trump. I believe truth is truth.
Truth is the defense of Trump?
Me saying
I'm confused.
A flat statement.
When did he say that?
Orange Man Band.
Yeah.
We don't know what's in these texts.
That's also what this is. This is what it's like debating a TDS patient. And if you're one of those normal people that doesn't try to debate people in real life because you just want to keep the peace, I'm not like that. So I've literally had these debate conversations with people.
You said, why are you defending him? I'm not. I'm saying we don't know what's in the texts.
We saw the text. They printed it.
No. Second signal gate.
Oh, that's still to come. I mean, I have to look at the story.
Sure. When the anonymous people want to publish information, maybe they will. We can have a conversation about whether it was good or bad.
Okay. Let me see if they've actually published.
This is the issue with modern journalism today: is that dispassion is viewed as defense of Trump.
Dispassion? You're fighting me. This is passion
on truth, not Trump. I'm fighting you against the media.
You're telling me that this journalist should not have actually published these. I don't agree with you on that. I don't agree with you. I'm not talking about the corporate media. Don't try to conflate it. That's what you're trying to do. I think that in this situation, that if I had those messages, I would have done what Jeffrey Goldberg did.
Why are you defending Jeffrey Goldberg?
Because you're attacking him, and I think that I would have done what he did. I really do.
Okay. Well, I'm not defending the Trump administration's use of Signalgate.
Okay, I'm happy
Our
to
use
hear
of
that.
Signal.
Well, that's cool. I'm happy to hear it.
Right. So my point is, when you say, why are you defending them? This has been the trope in the Trump era.
The thing that you keep saying over and over again is that Americans don't care. So this is just a made-up, manufactured story.
It's political.
And people don't care. People don't care. People don't care. People don't care. Okay, a lot of people don't care about a lot of things that matter. And we can acknowledge that.
We don't know what's in second Signalgate.
We'll find out soon.
So for what is the purpose of running the story front page in New York Times?
Because his wife is on it.
How do you know?
That's what they're reporting. 4 sources, not one, like you said.
4 anonymous sources. We don't know. We've seen no evidence.
Okay.
So why are you defending this attack against Trump? Why are you anti-Trump?
I'm not anti-Trump.
But why would you say I'm defending Trump if I said we don't know what's in them and you call that a defense? Then I call you anti-Trump.
How about this? Why, if it's not true, then why did
I don't know if it's true. I don't care.
What? Now we don't care if it's real or not.
That's my point the whole time.
No. If the second chat isn't real, like you said, and you're questioning why it's on the cover of the New York Times, why did Sean Parnell, the chief Pentagon spokesperson, not deny it? Why did he not respond to the New York Times and say,
Can't read his mind.
This is fake news? This is because they still haven't denied it.
Don't know.
They have
Can't
not
read his
denied
mind.
it yet. They have not, even Hegseth, which we should, if you have producers here,
I don't know. I can't read his mind.
We should probably play the actual video of, I could probably find it because I think I played it by accident, but we should play what Hegseth says because I don't think he's denying it again.
So my view is that we have an accusation with no evidence and there's some politicking going on.
Well, first of all, the Pentagon hasn't denied it yet.
So what?
So you're saying it's fake, but no one else has.
No, I did not say it's fake.
You're the only one saying it's
I don't
fake.
think you can understand what I'm saying.
No, I do understand what you're saying.
You don't.
You're saying it's. You said it's based on one source. There are 4 people that said it was. Not. It's based on one source.
I genuinely think you can't understand the words that I'm saying.
I can understand the words that you're saying. You don't understand what you're saying.
I do.
Okay.
We have a political story with no evidence. For what reason is this front page news?
Because I bet you that this wouldn't be front page news, by the way, if the Pentagon just denied it. I bet you.
Can you answer the question I asked?
No. It matters. No. It matters if he's doing it again, because as we said, it was a mistake. If you commit a mistake twice, Signalgate, in your words, an accident, a mistake. If you commit,
he didn't accidentally text anybody wrong in this story.
Okay.
This story says that he's on a text chat with his wife.
With more classified.
Yeah, he didn't accidentally text a journalist again.
Okay, let's just listen to what he said, because I don't think let's see what happened. It's not about texting the journalist.
So it's not a second mistake. Like, this is like 100% cope, bro.
It's about sharing classified information again.
How do we know he shared classified information?
Because that's what the story says, that the Pentagon is not denying.
That's what the headline said.
That's what the story said.
Explicitly said that
about
he shared classified information.
forthcoming strikes. That's, again, future strikes, and like I said when I actually gave you the definition of classified, which we can go over again, classified, according to the definition of classified information providing indication or advance warning that the U.S. or its allies are preparing an attack. Okay, you don't want to hear what I have to say, but here's what the lead story is of the New York. Here's what the lead story is of the New York Times. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth shared detailed information about forthcoming strikes in Yemen on March 15th in a private Signal group chat that included his wife, brother, and personal lawyer, according to 4 people with knowledge of the chat. Okay, and if that, he can he could declassify it after. You could you could say that.
Never be classified.
But then here's the question: if it's not real, why not deny it? Why not deny it?
I think we're missing the forest for the trees.
I agree.
Here. And why I'm saying that is because in the second Signal chat, there wasn't a journalist added. So one might ask, oh, how did these leaks get out? It was most likely that one of the people that was fired for allegedly leaking is now continuing to leak against Hegseth because he has an axe to grind. One of the people who was fired for allegedly leaking was the same guy who was Pete Hegseth's contact man in the first Signal Gate chat. So it makes sense that this guy, one of the same guys who was his contact man in the first Signal Gate chat, continued leaking, got fired, and now he's continuing to leak because he has personal animus and has an axe to grind with Hegseth and the prior with the
that's interesting.
Does that make sense to you? Because I think when we're doing journalism, we also need to understand why do sources come forth? Why did any of these guys come forth? Because again, they're disgruntled employees with an axe to grind.
You don't think they also are concerned about the way that the Department of Defense is being run?
No, not one. I don't think they give a shit at all. I think these are guys who didn't want us to attack Iran and wanted us to and leaked our attack plans to the New York.
You think that? Wait. Yeah, you think that?
Well, what do you mean? I think that the New York Times did the New York. Did the New York Times
and rumor of Tucker
did the
Carlson
New York Times have the reporting?
You said you have a hunch.
No, I'm asking you a question. Did the New York Times have the reporting that said that we were going to attack Iran and about our attack plans for Iran? Correct.
Yeah, but you're saying who you think the source is. And why
the Department of Defense Pete Hegseth said these guys were the leakers. Leakers.
Yeah, he could say that.
Okay, so according to Pete Hegseth, the leader of the Pentagon, right?
Yeah, but he also says a lot of things. Like he denied the last thing. I mean,
so no, I think it's pretty obvious too, because again, these guys were fired. And again, if you looked at the Signal chat, which you were reading to us earlier, you'd see the name of one of the people who was fired was his contact man there. So obviously there's an axe to grind and it's a disgruntled employee. And if you were a good journalist, you'd know that this actually comes up all the time. Half of the sources for people are just people who are pissed off at others and people in their company. All of these sources are former.
Listen, I agree with you that there are a lot of people.
No, but that's what we're missing here, that this is really about Iran and and the Iran nuclear deal and the JCPOA Part 2 potentially. And I think we're missing that. The story here is about those two camps fighting within the Department of Defense. The establishment media would rather run with this and say the whole department is disarray because they want to just slander Trump. And here's the real issue here. Tomorrow, potentially, when Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt has a press briefing, the first 80% of the questions are going to be on this essential non-story that, again, I don't think matters to most Americans. I think most Americans are worried about the economy. I think most Americans are worried about safety.
And I think the question is, in any investigation, is cui bono?
What's that? Cui bono?
Yes.
What is that Latin for?
For who is to gain.
Okay.
So when a source comes forward with a story, the question is for who is to gain. If there was a story about toxic sludge being put in our milk and kids are going to drink it, the person who is to gain largely is the people who are saved from drinking it.
Right, yeah.
But the source who comes forward, what is their motivation? What do they gain by bringing this story forward?
Maybe they are actually whistleblowers. Do you believe in good people?
For most people, it's because, holy crap, kids are going to die from this.
Yeah, some people are good
In
people.
a story like this, with 4 anonymous sources about a Signal chat with information that Hegseth is allowed to disclose, who gains? What is gained from this?
I mean, it's unclear if he's really allowed to disclose it, though.
No, it's not. He's the head of the DOD. He decides what operations are going to be classified.
Also, aren't you concerned about him disclosing that kind of stuff?
Okay, So, oh my God, he told his wife some not very detailed details of something that's going to happen. Okay, so
did the wife leak it?
Well,
yeah, but no, so she didn't leak it.
So the only person that is putting the possible, that would be leaking information should be the espionage person put behind bars or prosecutor lose their clearance, because guess who is probably not gonna go text the Iranians or the Houthis that an attack's coming. I really doubt his wife is connected and has fugazi'd him, and she's really a spy.
Which she could be a Chinese spy, so, you know, hey, you shouldn't be able to just tell your wife everything that's classified, however.
Guess what? Whose political significant others don't know a little bit of information from their work?
Well, I mean, like,
I'm
Eric
gonna-
Swalwell didn't go to jail for telling his, you know, Chinese spy lover
I'm just gonna say, your significant other, what do y'all have to talk about? Okay, even if your information is really classified, you're gonna tell me that you've never told your wife or your husband. Yeah, like, exactly. He didn't say anything specific. So what are they gonna, like, holy crap, oh, I'm a spy, I'm gonna hit my contacts now because I have infiltrated Pete Hegseth for, you know, the 20 however many years we've been married, and I was a plant the whole time. So now I'm going.
This is the one I'm gonna go on.
Guys, he told me you guys better watch out, and you guys could totally defend against this. Everybody in apartment, and on this date, go shelter. Okay.
He didn't even say a date. It was just in the future or something, right? Like,
Yeah, so that's really gonna help them out to defend against the attack. Like, that info isn't gonna do shit, and that wife is not going, oh, hey, Kathy, you know, my best girlfriend. Hey, so yeah, my husband was telling me how we're gonna attack the. No, they're talking about how to like make bundt cakes and shit. They're she don't give a crap about spreading info, and she knows better not to. So, and that's probably exactly why he says minor details, because he understands he's a Department of Defense head, so he can't give actual because all of a sudden, well, guess what? There's only people in the cabinet really know the info, and if for some reason the attack goes totally sideways, and they can tell if somebody, like, if they don't have a successful mission, that it was probably because somebody knew about it. And then you only have so many. First off, everybody in that department has a digital footprint. Their phone's being listened to.
maybe he was testing the wife, bro, to see if she is a plant.
Well, so that's what I'm kind of getting at. There's, you know, how many people know the very specific information. Right. And if it were to get leaked out, guess what? Your phone, just like our phones, their phones are definitely being listened to. And so if you have to backtrack it, there's only so many, those people know that they're getting tracked.
So they give certain information to certain people thing, yeah.
So he would know then who did it.
Apple actually started giving employees fake information to see if they would get leaks, and different information to tell who were the leakers so they could fire them.
Yeah. I even have had a friend that told me that that's what they do in life.
Right.
They tell certain people in the friend group certain things, and then see who comes back talking about a certain thing to know who's spreading shit around.
Yep. It's a tactic old as time, right?
Yeah.
There's like too much more of this. We don't need to watch the whole thing, but I was gonna see if I could grab this other part. She starts getting real. She's going down, bro. She's going down. So she starts getting real butthurt here, man.
And they always think this is what saves them. But like, come on, seriously.
I know, right?
Oh, if I do that, and like, yo, we're just not. Come on, are we that serious about it? You seem to be trying to. So
and then
if you're gonna
like
be
him.
that way about, so that's again hypocrisy. Are we that serious
This
about
is
like
super
this?
serious to me. 10 minutes later, what are you coming at me for?
Oh, like, I think these people should be super serious, but like us being this serious, what are we being this serious about it for?
Yeah, dude. Like us autistics like Tim and us, man, it's like you asked me a question and you said the thing. I am now explaining the thing over abundantly. I will explain the thing to you until your face is the blue. or you completely agree with me because I found all the stuff to explain the thing. Like, let me see if I can catch her her end part here.
I'll be in what country?
Okay.
So to say that we have the locations of strikes and then you don't have them?
Strike drones on target. This when the first bombs will definitely drop. Pending earlier triggered base targets. Second strike starts. Also first sea-based Tomahawks launched. More to follow per timeline. Okay.
Where?
Let's keep going.
I know I asked you where. Why are you reading random things?
Building collapsed.
Why are you reading random things?
I'm not reading
He asked
random.
her where, and she's like, she emphasized sea-based Tomahawks. That's from where we're shooting them from. That's not where they're landing. Like the land or sea, whatever. It doesn't matter. They're Tomahawks. They fly faster than they can deal.
I'm reading the text message. I'm reading through it. Do you think I have this on the back of my head? I don't just spew things out of my head. I actually like to have facts. Okay.
Apparently you don't, because you had to pull it up and you didn't know what he said.
What she just admitted to was, I
just read the headlines.
I have to read what they tell me because I can't keep a fact in my own head. I have to so you don't even know. You essentially can't even know what a fact is if you can't keep it in. So does that mean you don't know in your head 2 + 2 = 4? It's only if in the story it says it. No wonder y'all are doing the 2 + 2 = 5, and that should be fine.
Why did she come on this show, bro? Like, she is not a serious journalist if she can't sit there and spit facts, bro. And then she's the one that brought this up.
This is how hard the delusion is.
Yep.
They literally they look in the mirror like
I'm awesome.
I'm the best journalist ever. Like, I don't really know facts, but I can read other stories and read the words of what they wrote down correctly. Can I judge it? No, that's not my job. I'm just a journalist. I'm just too awesome for that.
Good night,
I'm the
San
best.
Diego.
Oh my goodness. My mom always told me I'd be the best journalist. Here I am.
I make sure that what I say is accurate. I don't just say it just to sound excited and enthused and just say it.
I mean, I
That's not
suppose
the
you could
truth.
actually read the story before making an assertion.
I am reading the text.
Afterwards, you've already made the claims for an hour and a half.
I have read it. I just don't remember the actual quotes. You're just now you just
Obviously.
seem like a jerk. Just so you know this, you are actually just bullying me. I am reading. CENTCOM was.
I don't know the story, so you're being a bully.
I'm not saying I don't know the
Come on,
story.
I gotta look it up.
I'm looking. Okay, so I'm reading it. CENTCOM was/is on point. Great job, all. More.
Time when I started spurting with the facts.
You're
just being mean.
You're proving me wrong. Quit it.
No
going
location
on
in the
for hours
text
tonight. Okay.
There's no location. He was wrong. That's the point. You didn't even remember what was said, but you were asserting a fact without checking.
Hold on a second.
The location is not included. Location and weapons were not included in the story. I know this because I've read it and we've covered it like 17 times. Thanks for checking out this clip from.
I love these, dude. Oh, man. Oh, I can't believe that woman wanted to come on his show, bro. She ever watch his show? She ever watch his show? Like, Tim comes correct, bro.
Obviously not. She doesn't watch. She just reads the headlines about it, obviously.
I can't believe that she was in the Cohen on this show.
I can, because she obviously just reads headlines and doesn't actually do any research on anything.
Right, bro.
She just made that evidently clear.
Oh, that was good. That was great. Oh, man. So this is the serious part of the show here. We got our new good friend of the show, John Rich. Okay.
Yeah, big fan.
Big fan, Mr. John Rich. And so this will make you even more bigger of a fanner. Okay.
Oh.
We'll try to maybe not watch the whole thing because it was kind of long here, but I want you to listen up, parents. If you have kids, you should 100% pull up John Rich on X, and I believe his pinned post has this interview with I don't know if it was a DOJ man, but let's see if we can get him to tell the story here.
communicating with kids, showing the text chats back and forth for people in the city. I'm kind of like you, man. I look at this place we find ourselves in the country right now, that we have a window to do as much as we possibly can while we have the opportunity to do it. And that leads us to what you and I are talking about today with Homeland Security. So can I just tell you the story of how it happened?
Please.
Okay, so my wife and my 15-year-old son are part of a group where moms and sons, they go do stuff for people in the city. They'll do charity work and go help old people build their gardens and things like that. It's a really good group. And they got all the boys together and all the mothers together probably 4 months ago. And an agent from Tennessee with Homeland Security came to speak to the moms and the boys about cyber predators online. And so the whole thing was showing these boys this: if you're on social media, this is how it should be set. If you have these apps, watch out, because this is where predators are coming in. Just this whole download. And it was so astonishing to my wife and son. He came home, and so did she, and immediately started making changes. Immediately went in to go, well, let's see if my phone is set to that. Oh my God, turn that off. Like, they immediately started moving on it. It was so descriptive that the agent was even showing real-time evidence that they had put into evidence of predators communicating with kids, showing the text chats back and forth between this monster and this kid, to show these boys and these moms, this is how they talk. This is some of the cue words. This is what they're doing. They're trying to move you from playing Fortnite over to something that they control, like a social media app or a direct message chat or something like that. Anyway, Benny, it was so impactful. I told my wife, I said, this needs to be heard by every parent in America. Like, this needs to be widespread information immediately. She goes, I totally agree. I said, well, did you get a name on this guy? And she said, yeah, his name was Agent Lyles. So I just went on the internet and looked up Agent Lyles, DHS, and found an email address on this guy. And I just hit him up. And I said, this should be heard by everybody across the country. And he went, I can't believe I'm talking to you right now. Is this the country singer, John Rich? I said, yeah, man. And he said, well, this is above my pay grade. Let me send this up the chain. What an offer. So he sends it up, and then it goes up again and up again. And it finally gets to the decision makers at DHS. And I said, I want to do a live stream. I want to host a live stream with your lead agent and put it on X, where every parent out there can tune in and watch this. And I want to record it, so that way it's permanent. We'll stick it on YouTube, Rumble. You guys put it on your websites. That way people at churches, schools, communities, whatever, can just hit click on a button and watch this. So took a lot of time to put all this together, as you can imagine. But 2 nights ago, we did. We went live on X at 7:00 Central. I hit up the president. I hit up President Trump, and I said, I would love it if you would repost this live stream when it goes live on X. Now, that is a tough thing to pull off, because it's not like, hey, would you do this for me at some point? It's like very specific, the timing of this. Reached out to the president, reached out to some of his staff, and they said, we're gonna see if we can make this happen. And sure enough, he reposted it. I think right now, if you look at it, it's over 1 million views on this thing. That's 1 million devices that were watching it. There were families gathered around. There were people sitting in churches that they had called in the congregations to watch this live stream. So, man, I just think it was a huge lick against the bad guys. I think the fact that it is now permanent, hopefully over time, millions of kids and millions of parents become aware of how to not become a victim of these people.
Well, and then it also becomes a part of the permanent federal record now.
Bruh, amen. If you got a kid, he recommended 6th grade and up to watch this. You know, if they're below 6th grade, maybe just like start introducing like be carefuls like usual, blah, 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 right?
If you're a parent with below, you should definitely still watch it.
Yeah,
like,
the parents should 100% watch it, right?
Yeah.
Are you ready for this, dog? So he said the tactics they're using now is they talk to the kid on like Roblox, you know, Minecraft, Fortnite. They get the kid, and then they send him a free paid money thing. Like, oh my God, you're such a good gamer. I just wanted to hook you up, dude, here. So now they get something they'd usually have to like get mom and dad to give them money for. So, oh my gosh, like how cool. Cool. We're talking, oh, don't you want to get into the private game chat with me? Oh, I need you to go over here. So get outside of the video game chat so it can't be monitored by the game system that's trying to stop this predator stuff, right?
Yep.
Gets into a chat, bro, and then convinces them to send a picture of their face, right? Puts the picture of their face into AI and makes an AI porno of the kid, and then sends it back to the kid and says, I'm going to show your parents and I'm going to post this online, embarrass your whole family if you don't do XYZ. That's some dark shit.
Man.
Goes up and gets the picture that the kid takes, and you can like flick up on iPhone and it shows the location because everybody's phone's got location tagged to photos default.
So the feds need to just hit up those AI companies,
right, dog?
To track who ends up making those videos
100%.
with and they can find all these guys.
Well, they can do it offline if they're smart. They can just run it on a local computer, dog, with open AI systems.
I feel like Elon Musk's team that found the deleted FBI emails, they can backtrack this fucking
that is some
to the
dark,
source
sick
of who's
shit, bro.
Who's doing that.
So if you're a parent, go to John Rich's X and watch this video. And if you got a kid over 6th grade, bro, have them watch it with you. Like, amen. Spread the word. Tell your friends. God dang, man.
And if you have somebody, because I'm sure we got plenty of kids that watch the Truther Cast here because they want to be informed of awareness realization. Tell your parents first, and then also reach out and send what's the dang guy's name from Dateline?
Oh, I don't know.
Hit up the guy from Dateline, and then basically have their team come in and act as you to fish them on in so they can have a seat.
Oh,
why don't you take a seat?
How about that guy
just take a seat.
That catches the predators?
That's who I'm talking about.
No, there's like an internet one that's like now he's continued to do it.
Oh, are you talking about Vitaly? Or no?
Is that it?
Is it Vitaly or is it somebody else? I think there's somebody else, but I swear Vitaly was also. I think Vitaly got in trouble because he actually ended up assaulting one of the guys.
That'd be tough not to,
right?
dog.
Yeah. Well, because that dude kept pushing it. He was like, you know what? I'm getting a lick in for this kid because the kid wishes that I'd punch you in the face.
Yeah, this is that Predator Poachers, man, where his whole shtick is catching these dudes, and then he gets the cops to come up. But sometimes they don't do nothing, bro. So then he puts that city on blast.
Hey, he should if they don't do anything about it.
I can't remember the dude's name. But he straight like catfishes these predators, bro. Alex Rosen. I think that's his name. Yeah, bro. A lot of people believe that pedophiles just equal wood chipper, dog, but god dang. Everybody should be very, very tried in court and guilty. Not a big firm. I'm not a big guy on the what is it, corporal punishment, right? But
Chris Hansen with Dateline.
yeah. This is the dude I'm thinking of.
65 years old, Chicago, Illinois. He was born.
This is the dude that be doing
Amarillo, Texas, for our first two busts of the trip. We're going to be going as west as Utah and as east as Pennsylvania. So it's going to be quite.
So he took that dude's, catch a predator, bro, made it real life, and it's the whole dude's life now, bro. He just goes around and catfishes these horrible predators.
Quite the lengthy predator catching extravaganza. It should be fun. 3 court dates on this trip, 2 for actually putting real criminals away, and 1, for a peaceful protest. And then, should be fun. Happy to testify against Ricky McVeigh in Alabama coming up. He's facing 20 years in prison, and going to be testifying against Sean Overstreet, Virginia, on the 30th. So that should be fun as well. A sex offender that's going to probably be put away for life. So, of course, in between that, many, many catches and. yeah, really looking forward to this trip. So, yeah, by the way, I know we are demonetized on X, but subs, I misspoke. I spoke a little bit too early a couple months ago. We do have subs enabled, and they still do pay us out from there. So if you want to subscribe to us for only $5 a month, keep this operation going, or at least help keep it going. Be sure to subscribe, press that purple button in our bio, and let's go catch some fucking pedophiles.
Man, he got demonetized. That's bogus.
Yeah. What, those ad companies didn't want ads showing up on his material? What's wrong, bro? They putting pedophiles away, dog. Put them pedophiles away, bro. Yeah, bro. Predator poachers, man. Amen. They doing God's work right there, man.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Stop child predators, bro. That shit's messed up, dog. But man, go to that John Rich profile on X and share that out to other parents you know, man.
That one was fun to watch.
Oh yeah, the mainstream media is always trying to push false narratives, right?
Dude, it's basically a bunch of people on a Zoom call, and there's one Democrat going,
Did you see this?
guys, like, isn't it horrible what Trump's doing? Like, didn't you lose money in your 401k? It's horrible, isn't it? And it's just a bunch of people. No, I actually didn't lose any money. No, I'm fine with it. Guys, isn't it just terrible? No, we told you. We're told like this market correction. That's how it happens. The market need to be corrected. Guys, come on.
Narrative seems
Here we got it.
a little bit detached from reality.
I need to ask you an issue that no one's brought up and that has crashed your 401ks. Your tariffs. Stock market is way down.
It needed a correction.
Oh, so you support it?
Yes. You bet.
Yep.
How many?
And I have to tell you, my 401k wasn't impacted at all.
How many? First off, how many of you did not lose any money over the crash of the stock market? One individual, two people. So, Serena,
the Biden administration, I lost more money than the Trump administration by far.
In 2022, they crashed it by 25%. Yeah, for the whole year.
No one's upset over this?
No.
Nope.
No.
Nobody.
There's not a single 4-year period in the history of the stock market where the stock market hasn't appreciated at an average rate of about 7%. There's ups and downs and corrections, and sometimes people are foolish and they jump out, buy high, sell low. If people just get in and stay the course, they'll be just fine.
I was about to say, I'm not a day trader. I try not to look at it very often, but I also trust that Trump and all of his advisors that are involved with the tariff issue know what they're doing. So I'm just going to hang on. I know it'll correct at some point. Yeah, I'm not really worried about it.
We just need a correction. We're willing to take whatever
to ride it out.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Stay the course.
It's been a rough 2 weeks, but guess what? We got 3.5 years to worry.
Exactly.
And if it's like this in a year, I'll have another discussion maybe, but I don't think it's going to be.
According to the Democrats,
Wait, nobody's upset with this? Come on, guys, be upset. Somebody, don't leave me hanging here being the imbecile idiot by myself here.
And who shared this out? The guy's an anti-Trumper, the Frank guy who was putting the Zoom on or something.
Yeah.
Somehow we still got the video. He was 100% trying to get an anti-Trump narrative.
Yeah. Well, try again. Swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss, bro. Did you hear that new information about the woman that was flying that helicopter that ran into the plane? Yeah, I know it's not too much of a story, but apparently I don't know where we got this information, bro. That's the part of the story I missed. So I don't know if it was black box or something, right? But now there are new reports on this study on this case here where the co-pilot, trainer pilot guy that was in there with her was instructing her to pull away and turn out of the way of the plane. And then air traffic control was also. So there was two people telling her, turn, move, turn. And she didn't. So I don't,
You're not going to tell me to transition.
So I don't know if it was she just locked up and had a mental brain fart, bruh, and then completely smashed into this plane, or someone was nudged.
Nudged or possibly typical behavior of said individual.
Manchurian candidated.
You know what they say about the female drivers. It's jokes, people. Come on. I don't.
Like, I don't know if she's like, knows anything about the Clintons, but man, very interesting.
Well, if she knew something about the Clintons, she wouldn't do it to herself.
I don't know, but more new information on that one.
Well, yeah. I'm told to do one thing, and I just don't do it.
Oh yeah, this is that.
That's very unmilitary like of you.
Yeah,
You're supposed to take orders. I know you should.
right?
If you take an order to do something unethical, that's one thing to try to stand up
Like
against
locking
it.
people down for COVID.
Yeah. But when it's for your own safety and more importantly, a whole other boatload of other people's safety that's not yours, you should probably do that thing that's gonna, keep everybody alive.
Right, dude. Life's complicated. So this is that one that I mentioned earlier where PepsiCo says that it's rushing to replace artificial colors and natural ingredients across all of its brands, including Doritos, Lay's, Cheetos, following Mr. RFK Jr.'s ban on dyes. And then this is things they own. 7-Up, Brisk, Lay's, Pepsi, Fritos, Ruffles, Doritos. What's a Mirinda? Tostitos, Cheetos, Gatorade, Munchies, Sun Chips, Piper's Crisp, Mountain Dew, Rockstar, Tropicana, Lipton, Captain Crunch. Bro, I might be able to eat Captain Crunch again. Dude, Captain Crunch is my shit. I just eat that cereal on repeat all day long. You got to get the one with more berries, though, bro. That's the bomb. The one with more berries. That was the bang bang.
Yeah, sure is. Mirinda is just a soda that was created in Spain.
Okay.
And then it was distributed globally by PepsiCo since 1970. They've been around since 1959.
Okay, now please type this one in. Smart food flavored popcorn. No, it's a thing. Yep, it's a thing. You looked over like, what? What is smart food flavored popcorn? What is smart food flavoring?
Oh, you know the brand.
Okay, that's the brand. Okay.
But yeah,
Try
so
to call it
apparently they make Doritos. Now, see, that sounds pretty dang good. Doritos flavored popcorn.
But only if I could eat these things again, bro. I don't eat none of these.
Right, yeah.
I don't even eat Sun Chips unless I'm over at my dad's house because he knows those used to be my favorite, so he still gets Sun Chips. But bro, those got like petroleum-based, like
really
canola
even
oil
the
or
Sun
some shit.
Chips, dude?
Yep, they ain't healthy, bro. Yep, it's got like vegetable oil in it or
God.
some shit. Probably got a yellow 40 in it.
I might be hitting that aisle of the grocery store. I might have to try me some of these Doritos.
Oh no!
Oh, man.
Don't eat the dyes, Dan.
It
Don't fall for it,
sounds
bro.
like crack popcorn to me.
Don't fall
Woo.
for it, bro.
Oh, yeah. First Reddit post. Obsessed with smart food X Doritos nacho cheese popcorn. Yeah, that makes sense and why you're a Redditor.
Well, it's probably all the shit they put in the food to make it like literally addictive, right?
Yeah, I mean, you ever eat, it's probably been a while, but remember eating Doritos? We always joke that shit had meth in it. Because you just couldn't stop.
Yo.
You just could not stop. You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh man, one more drink. Nope, I'm having another. You know what? All of a sudden, I'm only having one more until the bag's empty.
Yep.
There's just something about it.
Tastes too good. / they got some addictive ass shit up in there, man, or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Ooh, Cool Ranch smart food popcorn.
Dan's on a tangent. So
I'm
Trump,
just hungry.
Trump posted, hopefully Act Blue, the Democrats' illegal scam used to raise money, including from not allowed foreign contributors, is being looked at by authorities. The Dems only know how to win by cheating, something which they do better than any group or party in history. But now, with their terrible policies and candidates, and with people like crooked Adam Schiff, who demanded a full pardon from Sleepy Joe, leading the way, it is almost impossible to reach their money goals. The USA is wise to these scoundrels and crooks. Also, why did the auto pen give Schiff a pardon? Biden knew nothing about it. Who operated the auto pen? What is the biggest question being asked in D.C.? They almost destroyed our country. So now I hear they're starting an investigation to look into all the people who were running the auto pen. Like,
Good.
hell yeah, right? Yeah, this was this one, yeah.
Oh, he's being a dictator. He's using the justice system to go through his political adversaries. No, they are asking and researching into the questions that needed to be asked.
Right? Absolutely dope. Oh yeah, there's giant power outages today. We can talk more about this one next week maybe. I thought maybe it was a nothing burger. Like, are we just like headlining this for no reason? There's power outages all the time, but I guess it was 3 different countries in Europe, and it was like over millions of people that were affected. So tinfoil hatters on the X are wondering, is this the beginning of Agenda 2030? Because one of the things said rolling blackouts.
Quite possibly, or it was a kid that was hacking and thought he was just having a
This
fun.
was like big stuff allegedly.
He just shut off the school's internet just for shits and giggles, but he didn't realize that it was also all the comm systems for the power plants as well.
Yeah, this is like 3 different Europe countries, and one of them was Spain. So then people were like, tinfoil hatting and being like, well, Spain does have posters for Agenda 2030 posted all over the subways. And I was like, okay, I don't know.
Well, we'll
crazy.
definitely have to hear what their pitch to keep the problem from happening again in the near future is going to be.
And my last honorable mention. So as I was reminded by my amazing, super smart into this lady, last week, I missed the EO that Trump made English the official language of America.
Oh, yeah, you missed. Yeah.
And what else would you then do after that but require that truck drivers speak English so they can communicate correctly?
Didn't know that was a problem.
Guess that's a thing now.
I mean, I guess I know there are a lot of like Serbians and Bosnians and Albanians that drive trucks. So.
But they're pretty good at speaking English.
Yeah, well, some more than others for sure.
I know a couple Ukrainian guys. One of them can barely speak English.
And generally they're speaking in their language, so that probably is.
No.
I don't think there's a whole lot of Mexican trucks. I don't think there's a lot of
I don't think
there's a lot of Spanish going across the CB radios. But maybe. I mean, it certainly could be.
Well, if I was Mexican,
I wouldn't mind
be
that.
a truck driver.
I wouldn't
I'd just get pulled over all the time being asked if there's anything else in the back.
Yeah.
I feel like I get racial profiled for human trafficking. I just wanted to get my family in, man. Come on. Come on, man.
Come on, man. Don't check the tires. There's nothing in the tires.
So that's all I got for you, folks. Dan's feeling pumpkin-y.
Yeah, it's been a long day.
It's like 3 hours. We got to get out of here.
Yeah, definitely been a long one.
Thank you very much for showing up, folks.
And that's why when I looked earlier, all I did was look at the time.
It's like froze up.
Yeah, I was like, how come it says when I first checked, I coincidentally checked when it was 9:35, and that says 8:36. So I just thought it was daylight savings time missing. I didn't look at the rest of the screen to notice that it was frozen.
Yeah, that shit's like frozen up. That's probably what freaked out the computer a little bit ago. But
right,
yeah, if you're still here, folks, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hitting that like button and making sure to share this out to a family, friend member, or a foe. Make sure to definitely be a good part of sharing the message out, folks, because with awareness comes the
realization.
And that way we can help others understand what the hell is going on and fix our local communities and this great nation.
And not get scammed.
Hell yeah. Don't get scammed by the dirty Democrats or the lamestream medias.
Yep.
And definitely don't
Scammers.
look like that lady bumbling around after she made a bunch of like accusations that if anybody actually push backs on, then you just fall apart. That's what happens to me every time I poke people and they say some headline
I mean,
shit.
I can understand why they're just like basically just frantically trying to figure out that their whole life is a lie, like that they
Yeah.
read things as
It
just
does
lies.
hurt. It does hurt, yeah.
Yep. Don't want to be looking silly. Don't want to be caught with your pants on the ground.
Yep, don't do that, folks. But
Looking like a fool with your pants on the ground.
check out that truthercast.com. You can follow me at @MassStash on the X. That's 3 S's in a row, 4 in the whole word. And make sure to come on back next week, man. Like to see you, man. And if you're watching this on the playback, drop a comment, say hello, and then maybe join us for a live show. Then you can hang out in the live chat.
Yeah, you can like ask questions that you're curious about that we're maybe not covering.
Absolutely. But that's all I got, folks, for you. We got that too. We got the one. And then we got the all rights, all rights.
All right, all right, all right.